Chapter 3998. There was a deafening rumble. A luxuriously decorated bungalow collapsed, sending dust flying everywhere. "Quick! Save the young master! Quick! Save the young master!" In a huge manor in Nanua, a bungalow collapsed. For some unknown reason, it collapsed with a loud bang. Even the ground had caved in. After the bungalow collapsed, more than 10 figures rushed over. They dug out a body from the rubble at the first instant. This person seemed to be in a very sorry state, and he even looked a little weak. However, his eyes were filled with a sense of familiarity and even helplessness. This person was none other than Invincible God. Ever since he was recuperating on the island that day, Invincible God was on the verge of a mental breakdown due to the various disasters that kept coming. As such, he was still in the midst of the disasters even now. From the beginning, Invincible God's panic to now, he was used to it. As long as he was alive, everything was fine. Up till now, Invincible God had no idea what was going on. In any case, he was now an unlucky soul. Wherever one was, there would be a disaster. This was not something that had happened in a day or two. Fortunately, the situation seemed to have eased up recently. It did not happen all the time, which allowed Invincible God to heave a sigh of relief. Invincible God was carried to a spacious area, far away from the various buildings, and even the trees. Even the people in the vicinity did not dare to come closer. This was because no one could guarantee that nothing would happen. At this moment, a middle-aged man in his 50s walked over. His face was filled with authority. Just by standing there casually, he exuded a strong aura of a superior. He was Invincible God's father, Shin Tianquan. Standing beside Shin Tianquan was a middle-aged man in Taoist robes. He had a sage-like demeanor and a unique aura. "Brother Long, this is my son, Invincible God. Take a look and see what happened to him," Shin Tianquan said to the middle-aged man beside him. The middle-aged man was wearing a robe and had a smile on his face. "Brother Shin, since I'm here, I'll definitely do my best." As a father, Shin Tianquan was also extremely worried. After all, his son's matter had left him feeling extremely helpless. Right now, he could only stay in this spacious bungalow for fear that something big would happen. Invincible God was no stranger to this situation. Ever since he had gotten into trouble, many people had been invited. However, when he saw the middle-aged man in the Taoist robe, Invincible God did not say anything. He recognized the middle-aged man in the Taoist robe as a master from a Taoist temple in Hangzhou. A true master. Not just anyone could invite him. Only the 3 great clans of the South had the ability to invite him over. Invincible God was also looking forward to it. "Nephew, stand there and don't move. Let me take a good look at who did this to you." Long Tianxing stepped forward and walked along Invincible God. As he walked, he pinched Invincible God. His expression turned solemn as he walked in circles and pinched Invincible God countless times. Only then did Long Tianxing stop. He said meaningfully, "Brother Shin, if I'm not wrong, your son should have fallen into someone's trap. However, this person's strength is amazing. He actually has such a method." Shen Tianquan naturally felt that his son had fallen into someone's trap as well. However, such methods were really unimaginable and hard to accept. Since when was there such an expert within the borders of China with such methods? If not for the fact that his son's physical body was strong, he would have been reduced to ashes after this series of events. "I've never seen such methods before. Who did this? I'll definitely kill this person and let him know the consequences of offending the Shun family," Shin Tianquan roared, his killing intent cold. Long Tianxing said, "This person has a deep foundation. I don't know who he is exactly, but there's a mysterious black energy on Nephew Shin's body. This should be the cause of all these disasters. As long as we get rid of this mysterious black energy, everything will be resolved. Brother Long, I'll have to trouble you to save my son from this pain." Shin Wudi heaved a sigh of relief. "Grandmaster, please help me." At the same time, Many figures appeared in his mind. Finally, he locked onto one person. Apart from him, Shen Wuti couldn't remember anyone else who could have done this to him. Stand there and don't move. I'll help you get rid of these disasters. Long Tianqing extended his hand and took out talismans one after another. The talismans were made of gold and shone with a bright light. As Long Tianqing activated them, they turned into ancient characters and landed on invincible God's body one by one. Shen Wuti didn't move. He allowed the talismans to land on his body, causing a dazzling starlight to explode. The starlight quickly entered Shen Wuti's body. The warm feeling made him feel very comfortable. After an unknown amount of time, all the talismans were used up. Long Tianqing's face revealed a hint of fatigue. This was the first time he had used so many talismans. This time, the Shen family leader of the three major families had come looking for him personally. Long Tianqing naturally had to play nice. Therefore, he used all his power just to get rid of the things on Shen Wuti's body. Brother Shin, the problem with your nephew's body should be solved. This kind of disaster will never happen again. At most, there will be some small difficulties occasionally. However, these are not a problem. As long as you pay attention, they will disappear in 3 to 5 days. Long Tianqing's eyes were like torches. He checked again and finally heaved a sigh of relief. Wuti, how do you feel? Shin Tianquan asked. Shin Wuti nodded. I feel very comfortable now. The pressure has disappeared. Thank you, Master Long, for helping me. Otherwise, I don't know how long I would have to suffer like this. Long Tianqing smiled. It's good that your nephew is fine. Oh, right. Did you offend anyone recently? Normal people really can't do something like this. I'd like to meet someone like that. Shen Tianquan was filled with murderous intent. He had arranged for people to investigate. His son's strength was at the top of the Grandmaster leaderboard. For something like this to happen, the person who did this must be very strong. Shen Wuti thought for a moment before saying, If I'm not wrong, this person should be Lin Fei from the East Sea Longting Manor. That kid is very mysterious. Perhaps I was plotted against at that time. However, I definitely didn't expect him to have such a method. Lin Fei from the East Sea Longting Manor? The Longting Manor that caused such a commotion? Long Tianqing's expression changed slightly, and he said, If it's this person, then he's a bit mysterious. 7 gurus are trapped inside, and none of them has come out to say anything. He's not an ordinary person. Shin Tianquan said coldly, How dare this Lin Fei use such a method on my son? Our Shen family will have to make another trip to the East Sea to meet this guy. My son isn't that easy to bully. Chapter 3999. Hubby, what's wrong? On a road leading to the outskirts of Donghai, Lin Fei, who was driving, suddenly frowned and quickly disappeared. Xiaolon, who was sitting in the passenger seat, saw it and couldn't help but ask, Nothing. I just suddenly thought of something interesting. Lin Fei said casually. Today, Lin Fei was accompanying Xiaolon to the class reunion. At the same time, he could also see his old classmate whom he hadn't seen for many years. What's so interesting? Tell me, Xiaolon asked curiously. Lin Fei laughed and said, It'll be boring if I say it out loud. You should just take your selfie honestly. Xiaolon pouted and did not continue to ask. Instead, she happily took a selfie. Lin Fei was driving a Lamborghini Daniel today. It had stable performance and was very enjoyable to drive on such roads. At the same time, he didn't want to be too high-profile. The Shen family of the 3 major families is quite resourceful. They actually found a master to dispel the power of my talisman. Interesting, very interesting. The power of the talisman that Lin Fei had left on Shen Wuti's body would dissipate over time. Looking at the time, it was not too long before it would dissipate. Therefore, Lin Fei did not find it all that strange that someone had dispelled it. After all, if the Shen family of the 3 major clans did not have the ability to do so, it would not be right. I hope this kid can remember the pain this time. If there's a next time, it won't be as simple as bad luck. Lin Fei's lips curled into a smile. He left a talisman behind to teach Shen Wudi a lesson. But if he didn't listen, Lin Fei wouldn't be merciful. So what if it was the 3 major families? After driving for about half an hour, finally, they arrived at the seaside of a county under Donghai. There was a holiday villa here called Glory Villa. It wasn't a low star. It was said to have cost a few $100 million to build. It was an all-in-one villa for recuperation, leisure, and meetings. The villa was built by the sea and even had a private beach. It was unique. So many people came to the villa. Lin Fei parked the car in the parking lot. There were already many cars parked there. Xiaolan, over here. Not long after Lin Fei and Xiaolan got off the car, a voice rang out. Not far away, a figure waved at them. So it was Su Xiaolan. Su Xiaolan had arrived a day earlier than them. Smiling, he ran over and pulled Xiaolan to the side to whisper to her. You're right. Lin Fei's old classmate is really rich now. He can even drive a Lamborghini. Su Xiaolan's eyes were shining. At first, Su Xiaolan did not believe Xiaolan's words. However, after seeing the Lamborghini, Su Xiaolan knew that it was true. She could not help but feel envious. This was a luxury car worth 4 to 5 million. To be able to afford such a car, who didn't have some wealth? Xiaolan whispered, How is it? I didn't lie to you, did I? My husband is really rich now. Xiaolan and Su Xiaolan had been good friends for many years and could be regarded as best friends. However, one was in Donghai while the other was in Hangzhou, so they rarely met. This time, Su Xiaolan was going to have a class reunion, so she rushed over from Hangzhou. Lin Yunfei was not very interested in the whispers between Su Xiaolan and Xiaolan, so he did not listen to them. After all, with his strength, it was easy for him to listen to their whispers. However, it sounded like there was no privacy, so he usually took the initiative to listen to the voices around him. After chatting with Xiaolan for a while, Su Xiaolan walked over. Lin Fei, they are all in the hall. Let's go over. I believe they will be surprised to see you. Su Xiaolan had arrived the day before, so she was already very familiar with the place. She walked into the hall with Lin Fei and Xiaolan. There were already a lot of people gathered in the hall. They were in groups of 2s and 3s. There were more than 30 people attending the class reunion. Look, the 2 beauties of our class are here. Xiaolan has become prettier. By the way, who is the person walking with Xiaolan? I have never heard that Xiaolan has a boyfriend. When Su Xiaolan and Xiaolan walked in, the men who were chatting stopped and subconsciously looked at the 2 of them. However, everyone's eyes soon fell on the young man walking with Xiaolan. This young man looked very strange, but after looking at him for a long time, they felt a trace of familiarity. However, they could not remember who this person was. When Lin Fei saw these old classmates, their figures quickly overlapped with the figures in his memory. After not seeing them for 5 years, everyone had changed a lot. In fact, Lin Fei couldn't even recognize a few of them. The changes were simply too great. Of course, compared to Su Xiaolan, they were still somewhat inferior. You are Lin Fei. At this time, a fat man took the initiative to run over. As he ran, the fat on his body jiggled. Damn fatty. Qinhai, you didn't lose weight. It seems that you have become fatter. Lin Fei recognized the fat man at a glance. It was his desk mate, Qinhai. It had only been 5 years, but Qinhai's body was more majestic than before. He was like a meatball. Qinhai slapped Lin Fei on the shoulder. You've disappeared for 5 years. I thought you were sold to Africa to mine. Lin Fei laughed. You've been gone for 5 years. Qinhai was also very happy to see Lin Fei. Although he had heard that an old classmate would come, he did not expect it to be Lin Fei. Lin Fei laughed. With my body, it's useless to sell me to Africa to mine. But your life seems to be getting better and better. Look at you, you have become a ball. You should lose weight immediately. Qinhai smiled bitterly. Lose weight? It's difficult to lose weight with my body. I think it's better to eat more. After Chun Hai shouted the name Lin Fei, everyone finally recognized him. It turned out that this person was their old classmate, Lin Fei. There had been no news of this old classmate for 5 years. Many people thought that something had happened to Lin Fei. After a short moment of surprise, several classmates took the initiative to come up and say hello. That was because these students were all Lin Fei's friends from back then. Lin Fei was in a good mood to see these old classmates, especially his desk mate, Chun Hai. After all, when they were desk mates, this guy had helped him a lot. Chun Hai was also a rich second generation, but he was not arrogant and domineering like other rich second generations. In college, he was the kind of person who kept a very low profile. There were even several times when Lin Fei's food expenses were not enough, and it was Chun Hai who secretly transferred money to his meal card. Lin Fei had never forgotten about this. Now that he could see him again, Lin Fei felt very good. Chapter 4000. The whole old classmate meeting did not happen. It was as melodramatic as Lin Fei had imagined. Overall, Lin Fei felt nostalgic, especially when a few of his old friends came together. This reunion was going Dutch, so there weren't any rich people paying. Everyone was smiling brightly. Everyone would stay in this splendid mountain villa for 3 days and 2 nights. After chatting for a while in the lobby, when everyone had arrived, they went to register and put their luggage in their rooms. Lin Fei and Xiaolon got the same room. This naturally made many old classmates envious. Xiaolon was such a beauty. Many people envied Lin Fei's godly speed. There were 3 tables of people in the afternoon. As an old classmate who hadn't been back for 5 years, Lin Fei naturally became the target of everyone's attacks. The easiest thing for men to do was to drink. Everyone was envious that Lin Fei had managed to hook up with a beauty like Xiaolon. Everyone was envious that Lin Fei had managed to hook up with a beauty like Xiaolon. They could only vent their feelings by drinking. Lin Fei was also very happy today. It seemed like only 5 years had passed, but to Lin Fei, it was more than a few 100 million years. Now that they could still sit together and drink, it was a great enjoyment for Lin Fei. Therefore, no matter who came over to drink, Lin Fei would drink to his heart's content. With his current body, it could be said that he wouldn't get drunk even after 1,000 cups. With one drink, more than 10 classmates in the class collapsed. Originally, they wanted to embarrass Lin Fei a little, but in the end, they all chose to surrender. If they continued to drink like this, they wouldn't be able to do anything at night. Old Lin, when did you learn to drink like this? This is the level of the god of wine. You won't get drunk even after 1,000 cups. Chun Hai also drank a lot in the afternoon. His whole face was red, and he gave Lin Fei a thumbs up. Lin Fei laughed and said, "Don't you know that there are days and days when you drink? It's rare to see everyone here today, so my tolerance for alcohol has improved. But you, boy, you've drunk quite a lot today. I've never seen you drink before. Are you in a bad mood today?" Who was Lin Fei? He was an immortal. While they were drinking, he noticed that Chun Hai's mood was different. Others might not be able to tell, but Lin Fei could. His desk mate, Chun Hai, had something on his mind. This could not be hidden from Lin Fei. Chun Hai smiled and said, "Same as you. I'm in a good mood today, so I can drink too. But compared to you, I can't hold my liquor." As he spoke, Chun Hai patted his big belly. Lin Fei didn't know whether to laugh or cry, but he didn't continue to ask. After lunch, it was time for the afternoon activities. Some of them were swimming, and some of them were fishing. Everyone was having a great time. In the evening, they had a seafood banquet, which included the fish that everyone had caught. Not only could they fish here, but they could also cook for them, which was very popular with everyone. After eating and drinking to their heart's content, Chun Hai secretly smiled and said to everyone, "Since it's rare for us to come to the splendid mountain villa, we should go and have a look. I heard that there are a lot of fun things here. Don't you want to go?" Since everyone had drunk a lot during the day, their tolerance for alcohol was much lower at night. Everyone behaved themselves. Otherwise, they would have drunk more today. With Lin Fei's presence, they didn't dare to drink anymore. They were afraid of drinking too much. Look at Qin Hai. He didn't do anything for most of the day. Anyway, it was just them sleeping. They were listless the whole afternoon. It took them a lot of effort to recover at night. Hearing Qin Hai's words, everyone's spirits were lifted. I also heard that the splendid mountain villa is quite interesting, a male classmate said. Yes, I heard that you need a membership card to go there. Qin Hai, do you have a membership card? The splendid mountain villa was so famous. Of course, it couldn't be what they saw on the surface. Qin Hai didn't drink much that night, but he was still a little tipsy. He patted his chest and said, Hee, tonight, I'll take you there to broaden your horizons. Girls, you can forget about it. As soon as Qin Hai said that, the girls looked at him with disdain. In fact, these girls had already planned to go to the splendid mountain villa for a spa. After all, the spa here was quite famous. The price was not expensive, so they could afford it. Soon, a group of men followed Qin Hai to broaden their horizons. As for the girls, they all went to the spa. Qin Hai was quite familiar with the splendid mountain villa. He led them to a tall house at the end of the villa. The house was guarded by a security guard. After Qin Hai swiped his membership card, the security guard brought everyone in. There were not many restrictions on the number of people a membership card could bring in. Fortunately, there weren't many of them, only about 10 people. Wow! Is this the most mysterious place in the splendid mountain villa? Wow, there is such a place. No wonder so many people like to come to the splendid mountain villa. When they came in, they saw a huge hall. In this hall, there were countless gambling tables, big and small. There were also many people inside. It was very lively. Everyone came to their senses. It turned out that there was a casino in the splendid mountain villa. This place is very safe. I heard that the owner of the splendid mountain villa has a very powerful background. You can gamble here and try your luck. Of course, if you are tired, you can go upstairs. They have all kinds of massage that men like the most. I guarantee you will enjoy it. The price is very reasonable. Don't say that I didn't give you a chance. I don't tell ordinary people about this place. All the men in the room laughed. Qin Hai, you're a good friend. Yeah, otherwise we wouldn't have the chance to come to this kind of place. With a smile on his face, Qin Hai took the initiative to bring everyone to the place to exchange chips. Everyone was here to broaden their horizons. Basically, they exchanged chips of 1 or 2,000. It was not a lot. It was a small amount until they lost everything. After they left, Qin Hai took out 50,000 chips and handed them to Lin Fei. We have been desk mates for a long time. It's rare for me to invite you here. Take these chips and have fun. Don't be shy with me. Otherwise, I will be angry. Although 50,000 chips was not a lot in Lin Fei's eyes, it still gave him a warm feeling. Although they had not seen each other for only 5 years, Qin Hai was still the same desk mate and friend. There was no change at all. Actually, you don't have to give me this. I have never been too interested in gambling, Lin Fei said with a smile. Qin Hai patted Lin Fei on the shoulder. Even if you are not interested, you still have to play. A man should have a few hobbies. Or is it that you are under the control of Shaolin? That won't do. As a man, you can't be a henpecked husband. Do you understand? Lin Fei did not know whether to laugh or cry. He really had no interest in gambling. Chapter 4001. Qin Hai stuffed 50,000 chips into Lin Fei's hand. Qin Hai appreciated the gesture. I see you've drunk a lot. Be rational when you play later. Don't be so extravagant. Otherwise, no matter how much money you have in this place, it won't be enough for you to play, Lin Fei reminded him. Qin Hai laughed. Don't worry. I'm a person who knows how to control myself. I'm just a small person. I think my luck will be pretty good today. When the time comes, I'll invite you up to welcome you." Lin Fei didn't say anything. Chun Hai exchanged the chips and left. In the blink of an eye, no one knew where he went. The casino was very big. Lin Fei wasn't worried that something would happen to Chun Hai. After all, this was the glorious resort villa. Accidents were rare. Lin Fei played a few rounds casually. To him, any game in this casino was like a child's game. As long as Lin Fei wanted to win, it didn't matter how many masters there were. It had to be said that the casino in the glorious resort villa had a lot of masters. During this period, Lin Fei saw several masters. They were more than enough to deal with ordinary people. However, these masters didn't make any moves. It seemed that they were just there to watch over the place. They had a conscience. Otherwise, no matter how many people went, it would be a waste of money. Lin Fei walked around casually. When he saw something interesting, he would place a bet. He didn't use any tricks. It was purely luck. But it had to be said that Lin Fei's luck was pretty bad today. He lost whatever he bet on. However, Lin Fei just smiled and didn't take it too seriously. The casino was always the most profitable place. No one would ever lose money. Lin Fei walked here and there. In the blink of an eye, half an hour had passed. Still not back yet? According to what he said, he would be back in half an hour at most. But there was still no sign of him. Lin Fei frowned slightly. "Lin Fei, it's great that you're here. Go and talk to Chun Hai. I don't know what's wrong with that guy. He's been betting like crazy. He's already lost 3 million. At this time, 3 students ran over and found Lin Fei. "What? I lost 3 million. Lin Fei's face sank. It had only been half an hour, and he had lost 3 million. It was definitely not a small amount. "That's right. We can't persuade him. It's better if you go and persuade him. Maybe he will listen to you." When Lin Fei heard this, he knew that the situation was not good. "I'll go take a look. You guys lead the way." Chun Hai was also one of Lin Fei's few friends, so no matter what happened, he had to go and take a look and help out. Lin Fei knew that Chun Hai had something on his mind, but it was his privacy, so Lin Fei didn't ask too much. Under the guidance of his classmate, Lin Fei soon saw Chun Hai. Chun Hai was surrounded by a lot of people. "Chun Hai, I told you, you're not good at anything. You're not good as a person, and your playing style is not good either. I really don't know why I fell for you back then. My current boyfriend is better. He's beaten you 16 times. I really want to thank you for giving my husband so much money." Chun Hai said. A woman's sarcastic voice appeared. "I don't believe it today. Let's play again." Chun Hai fished out a card from his wallet. "Play this." Chun Hai had no more chips in front of him. At this time, a hand reached in and grabbed Chun Hai's card. "I told you not to play so big. Why didn't you listen to me? I still think you're going to be lucky today." Chun Hai raised his head and saw Lin Fei walking in. He reached out his hand to grab the card back. "Lin Fei, don't worry about me." Chun Hai's eyes were red. On the way to the casino, Lin Fei had learned some things from his classmates. Chun Hai was playing with a man and a woman at a gambling table. One of his classmates said that the woman was Chun Hai's ex-girlfriend. They had been dating for 3 years. It seemed that they were about to get married. However, the woman broke up with Chun Hai for some unknown reason. Chun Hai's gluttony had reached such an extent. Of course, no one knew whether it was true or not. However, Chun Hai's situation was very likely related to this woman. This was what Lin Fei knew. When he saw the man and the woman, Lin Fei knew it was true. He gently placed a palm on Chun Hai's shoulder. Chun Fei suddenly sobered up. He was not drunk anymore. "You've lost so much. Just forget it. There's no need to play anymore." This time, Chun Hai didn't have such a big reaction. He was just a little unwilling. He didn't know what happened to him. He lost 3 million without even knowing it. Although it wasn't a lot of money, it still made Chun Hai's heart ache. "Chun Hai, didn't you want to play with us? Why don't you have the guts to continue? Sitting on the lap of the man opposite him was a beautiful woman with heavy makeup. She said mockingly, "Or do you want to leave because you don't have the money? That will make me look down on you even more." Chinhai was angry. "Who said I don't have the money?" Lin Fei looked at the man and the woman opposite him. The man was handsome. It was not an exaggeration to say that he was not a handsome guy. The woman was not bad looking either. She had big wavy hair. Her score was above 80. There was a hint of flirtatiousness between her eyebrows. It was hard to resist her. "Since you've won the money, it's over. Why do you want to continue?" Lin Fei said lightly. "Chinhai, is this your friend? I don't think he's that good." The woman opposite him laughed. "Don't talk about my friend like that. It's just 3 million. It's not like I can't afford to lose. You don't have to talk about my friend like that." Chinhai stood up. The woman laughed. "I said it. What can you do to me? Anyway, you're a coward. I regret being with you in the first place. My current husband is better than you. He's better than you in everything. The company is better than you, and he's better looking and handsome than you. Now, he's even better at gambling than you. How can you compare to my boyfriend?" The woman said and kissed her boyfriend on the cheek. The handsome man also laughed. "Don't force yourself if you can't afford to play. After all, gambling doesn't depend on luck. It depends on your brain. Do you understand?" Chinhai's eyes were about to turn red. "Chen Zilin, I really don't know why I fell for a woman like you. Chinhai, you only know how to talk big. You're a coward." Chen Zilin rolled her eyes. "If you're not satisfied, then keep playing." Lin Fei put a hand on Chen Hai's shoulder and laughed. "What's the point of bullying my friend? Look at you, you're smart. Why don't we play a game? You're dressed for a few $100s. We're betting hundreds of thousands, or even millions. Do you have money?" Chen Zilin rolled her eyes. "My boyfriend doesn't play with people who don't have money." Lin Fei smiled at Chen Hai. "Do you want this woman to kneel in front of you?" Chen Hai clenched his teeth. "Yes. Then do you trust me?" Chen Hai nodded. "I trust you." Chapter 4002. In the casino's surveillance room. Many people were looking at the scene in front of the gambling table, and they all laughed. A middle-aged man wearing glasses laughed. Another idiot came out of nowhere. "I guess young Master Luo is going to rip him off again. By the way, how many times have we done this month?" The technician next to him laughed. "I think it's the 5th time. If we count this one, it'll be the 6th. Speaking of which, Chin Zilin is the best. I know. Every time I see Chin Zilin, I feel hot. She's really wild." The technicians in the casino surveillance room all knew Luo Jun and Chin Zilin. They were not surprised at all by what was happening. From their point of view, the two men were just ordinary people. There was nothing special about them. If they dared to play with young Master Luo like this, they would definitely lose everything. As for whether they would dare to cause trouble here after this, it was not a question. This was the splendid resort villa. Not everyone dared to cause trouble here. Many second-generation nouveau riche had been taught a lesson. In the end, even their families had to come to the splendid resort to apologize and send a generous gift to resolve the matter. "You think you can play with my boyfriend?" Chen Zilin said disdainfully. "Chin Hai, your friend is quite interesting. It sounds like he thinks he's the king of gambling. If he's the king of gambling, my boyfriend is the god of gambling." Chen Hai did not know why he agreed to Lin Fei's request. He only felt that Lin Fei's words were full of power. He felt that Lin Fei would definitely be able to do it. So he let go of everything and believed in Lin Fei. "I believe in my friend. Do you have the guts to play with me? It's as simple as that. My friend, you're quite arrogant. I've met a lot of people, but I've never met someone like you. But I can give you a chance." The young, handsome Luo Jun laughed, but there was a trace of disdain in the depths of his eyes. "But you have to pay me 5 million first. Without 5 million, I won't play with you. Isn't it just 5 million? I'll pay, Chunhai said coldly. Chunhai said coldly, just use my card. I remember there's still 5 million left on this card. Lin Fei smiled faintly and said, there's no need to swipe 5 million from your card. You gave me 50,000 yuan in chips. Now I still have 40,000 yuan in chips. I'll go out for a walk and I'll be able to gather 5 million yuan in no time. However, I think 5 million yuan is too small. Why don't I add some more chips? Let's bet that after you two lose, you'll kneel in front of my friend and kowtow and beg for mercy until my friend forgives you. As for me losing, it's simple. I'll add a 0 to the 5 million yuan and give you 50 million yuan. I just don't know if you have the guts to play. When Lin Fei's words came out, it was unknown how many people were shocked. What a huge bet! Do you think you have a lot of money? Do you think you have a lot? Chen Zili knew that Chen Hai was having a gathering here today. She believed that Chen Hai could take out 5 million yuan. But she didn't believe that Chen Hai's friends could easily take out 50 million yuan. After all, 50 million yuan was not 50 yuan or 500 yuan. Luo Jun also found it interesting. If you can take out 50 million yuan, then I don't mind playing a game with you. As for kneeling and apologizing, that's easy. Take out 50 million yuan and you'll be qualified to play with me. As long as I lose, I'll naturally fulfill my promise. Luo Jun didn't believe that Chen Hai could take out 50 million yuan. As for losing to him, that was even more impossible. He was a gambling master after all. Usually, he could win a lot of money with just a few tricks. But the person in front of him, no matter how he looked at it, was not a gambling master. Everyone could talk big, so Luo Jun naturally had nothing to worry about. 50 million yuan. I can get it right now, Chen Hai said, gritting his teeth. Lin Fei smiled and stopped him. Fatty, you don't have to do that. I'll get it for you. Now that your desk mate is rich, 50 million yuan is a piece of cake. Lin Fei smiled and took out a checkbook from his pocket. He quickly wrote 50 million on it and placed it on the gambling table. This is a cash check for 50 million yuan. You can ask someone to check it at any time. I believe that there are professionals in such a big casino. The students behind Chen Hai and Lin Fei were also dumbfounded by what they had just heard. Could it be that his old classmate had really struck it rich? They couldn't believe that Chen Hai could take out 50 million yuan so easily. Chen Zilin and the handsome Luo Jun were also slightly surprised. They didn't expect Chen Hai's friend to be such a big fat sheep. He could take out 50 million yuan so easily. Just take out a random check. Who knows if it's real or fake? I'll help you check it. Chun Zilin reached out and took the check. Then she called the number on it and inquired about it. Soon, a trace of surprise appeared on her pretty face. The check was put back on the gambling table. I didn't expect you to really take out 50 million yuan. Chun Zilin felt that she had underestimated this person. 50 million yuan. Chun Hai heard this and looked at Lin Fei in shock. Old Lin, when did you get rich? You're a local tycoon. 50 million yuan. Even I don't have as much as you. Chun Hai was sincerely happy for Lin Fei. After all, he was prepared to help Lin Fei. In the beginning, Chen Hai thought that Lin Fei's clothes were too simple, which made him think that Lin Fei must not have been doing well for the past 5 years, which was why he did not attend the class reunion. So he decided to find a time when there was no one around to have a good chat with him, to help his old classmate and desk mate. However, he did not expect this guy to directly take out 50 million yuan, which made Chen Hai shocked and a little worried. Old Chen, let's just forget about it. This is 50 million yuan. If you lose it, Lin Fei said, I've always believed in luck. In the face of luck, no matter how smart you are, it's useless. Just wait and watch the show. Luo Jun had a faint smile on his face. My friend, you're really rich. You can write a 50 million yuan check, just like that. Then I'll play a good game with you. I don't know what you like to play, but I respect your opinion. Lin Fei smiled. Anyway, I rely on luck. It's all the same. You can play whatever you like. I like to rely on luck to beat my opponent's best gambling method. Luo Jun's eyes twitched. He had never seen such an arrogant guy. He actually wanted to rely on luck. There must be something wrong with his brain. Let's play a simple game of who's bigger and who's bigger. 3 games, 2 wins. What do you think? Don't you like to rely on luck? Let's compete then. Luo Jun was smart. When the surrounding people heard this, they were dumbfounded. Then they got excited. It seemed like it was really a game of luck. They had not seen such a big bet many times, because this kind of free gambling bet was usually around hundreds of thousands or even millions. It was very rare to see a bet of 50 million. Chapter 4003. What's the background of this young man? He looks ordinary, but he wrote a 50 million cash check? I heard that a cash check requires a net worth of at least a few hundred million. Could it be that this guy has a net worth of a few hundred million? So what if he has a net worth of a few hundred million? Doesn't he know how powerful Luo Jun is? When he fights with Luo Jun, he'll know what regret is. Of all the games he could have played, why did he have to play big and small? There were already a lot of people around the gambling table. Some with good eyesight had already recognized who this handsome guy was. They also knew how powerful this handsome guy was. So no one was optimistic about the young man. He could have played with anyone, but he had to play with Luo Jun. He was a famous gambler here. God knows how many people had lost to him. It was said that Luo Jun's brain development was extremely good. Ever since he was a child, he was very good at calculating in the game of Go. So much so that he had a great talent in gambling. It could be said that he was self-taught. Usually, people rarely saw Luo Jun come here to play, because no one would play with him. But this time, someone actually bet 50 million on Luo Jun kneeling on the ground with this woman. This kind of thing had never happened before. However, in everyone's opinion, this 50 million was destined to be wasted. Since it involved a bet of 50 million yuan, the dealer was also changed to a new person. She was also a sexy and beautiful dealer. Her shuffling skills were very good, dazzling the crowd. The beautiful dealer placed the cards in her hand on the gambling table and stretched out her hand. Both of you, please draw your cards. Luo Jun laughed. For the first round, I'll let you draw first, lest you say that I'm bullying you. When he was shuffling the cards just now, the handsome Luo Jun had almost memorized all the cards. No matter what card his opponent drew, he was sure that he would win. Chun Hai, you have to let your friend seize the opportunity. My boyfriend usually doesn't let others win, lest he loses too badly. Chan Zilin sat on Luo Jun's lap and said with good intentions, but the expression on her face was full of sarcasm. Lin Fei laughed. Fatty, you go and draw a card first. Don't you think it's more interesting to defeat this handsome guy with your own hands? I'll do it. Chun Hai was surprised and shook his head. No, you do it. Lin Fei said, don't be like this. Can't you be more courageous? This is not like the Chun Hai I knew. Isn't he just going to draw a card? I'm a person who believes in luck the most. I think we'll be lucky today. We'll kill whatever comes our way. Even if the god of gamblers comes, it'll be the same. Lin Fei gently patted Chun Hai on the shoulder. Don't you want this woman to kneel in front of you? What could be more exciting than personally defeating your opponent? Hearing this, Chun Hai's eyes were filled with hatred. All kinds of scenes kept appearing in his mind. His face also showed a trace of ferocity. Fine, I'll do it. Chun Huan didn't even look at it. He just randomly picked one out and threw it on the table. After the cards were opened, sighs could be heard from the surroundings. Chun Hai, your luck is really bad. You didn't want to draw, but you actually drew Jiangxi. Chun Zilin was laughing so hard that she was almost rocking back and forth, because Chun Hai had flipped over a 4. This could be considered the smallest card. Chun Hai was also stunned. He was very annoyed. Old Lin, I don't think my luck is good. I'm going to lose this time. Lin Fei said carelessly. I told you, we're relying on luck. What if this guy draws a 3? The people around were also surprised. Best of 3. The first round was a 4. Under normal circumstances, if the opponent randomly drew a card, he would definitely win. Baby, you do it. Let Qinhai know that luck is not a reliable thing. I don't want people to say that I'm bullying them, Luo Jun said with a smile. Qinhai, open your eyes wide. My random poker card is bigger than yours. Chen Zilin happily stretched out her hand. Her cardamom-colored fingernails casually picked up a poker card and threw it on the table. The card flipped over and landed on the table. Chen Zilin was smiling. Suddenly, the crowd was silent. Then, there was a loud burst of laughter. This kind of thing actually happened. What the hell? I can't believe it's a 3. What a joke. That guy is such a jinx. I can't believe we're watching such a good show. No one would believe it. We can win by drawing a random card, but it's a 3. Is this really luck? Qinhai was about to close his eyes and accept the fact that he would lose the first round. But when he heard the voice, he opened his eyes and laughed out loud. Chen Zilin, to think that you would have such a day. Looks like your luck isn't that great either. You actually flipped out a 3. Sorry, my 4 is just a bit bigger than yours, so I win, ha 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 ha. Qinhai was exhilarated. Even if it was only a little bigger than his opponent, it was still bigger than his opponent. How is this possible? This is impossible. Chen Zilin could not accept this scene. The 3 was now very glaring. Luo Jun was stunned. He had casually swept the table just now. He barely remembered that the card should be a 7 of diamonds. How could it suddenly become a 3? Luo Jun's expression changed quickly. He smiled and comforted. Baby, it's okay. Best of 3. This is only the first round. Qinhai felt much better after hearing the comforting words. You just won 1 round. What's so great about it? When my boyfriend makes his move, let's see how you lose. Chen Zilin could only fight for his face like this. Luo Jun stared at Lin Fei's man from the beginning to the end. He did not feel that his opponent had done anything, so he could only think that his opponent was lucky. It's good enough that you won 1 round. Now it's interesting. Luo Jun smiled. I won't go easy on you in the next round. The dealer began to shuffle the cards again. In addition, he also changed the deck. You went easy on me just now. Now it's my turn to go easy on you. Let me see how good you are at eating with your brain. Lin Fei laughed. Luo Jun laughed. As you wish. Luo Jun's slender fingers did not look like a man's. He quickly flipped over a card on the table. Sorry, this is a king of diamonds. My eyesight has always been good. Luo Jun flipped it gently. He did not look at the card, but he knew what it was. After this card was flipped over, the crowd burst into laughter again. Qinhai was the first to laugh. You really know how to show off. It's obviously a 3 of diamonds, but you said it was an ace of diamonds. Your eyes are really bad. I think you should go get a pair of glasses. I happen to know someone who sells glasses. He can even give you a 50% discount. A 3 of diamonds. Luo Jun looked down. The card in his hand was really a 3 of diamonds. Impossible. Luo Jun stood up. Chapter 4004. P.S. There was a mistake last night. It was the ace of diamonds, not the king of diamonds. I made a mistake. Luo Jun stood up and stared at the 3 of diamonds on the table. He clearly remembered that it was the ace of diamonds. But now it was the 3 of diamonds. He couldn't accept this. It can't be the 3 of diamonds. You cheated. You must have cheated. I remember it very clearly. Luo Jun was very confident in his memory. There was no way he could remember it wrongly. This card had to be an ace of diamonds, but he couldn't figure out how the other party had done it, because from the beginning to the end he hadn't noticed the other party make any movements. But he had actually drawn a 3 of diamonds, and he had even shamelessly boasted that it was an ace of diamonds in front of everyone. This was simply too embarrassing. Lin Fei raised his hands. Look carefully. My hands were not off the table from the beginning to the end. Do you think I could have done anything? Or do you think everyone here is so gullible? It's your own memory that's not good. Why did you insist on saying it was the ace of diamonds? I think you must have done too much last night. You can't even concentrate. Sometimes your brain can't think straight. I advise you to eat more supplements. I remember that brain platinum is quite good. You can have a few bottles. If you don't have enough money, I can give you a car full of them. If you don't have enough money, I can give you a car full of them. Chinhai also laughed. Yes. The effect of brain platinum is quite good. It also has anti-aging properties. After drinking it, your head won't feel dizzy and your legs won't hurt anymore. I think it's very suitable for you. Luo Jun also knew how powerless his words were. After all, the other party was sitting so far away from the beginning. The poker cards were placed in the center. No one could have done anything to them, and the dealer was a resident here. Luo Jun didn't believe that the dealer could have done anything. So was his luck really too bad, or was there something wrong with his memory? Luo Jun felt a little confused. A 3 of diamonds. If there were no accidents, he would lose 2 rounds in a row. Luo Jun found it hard to accept. He was a celebrity here. If he really knelt in front of these 2 people, then his reputation would be ruined. He would never come to this glorious resort villa again. You have nothing to say now. Lin Fei smiled faintly and said, Fatty, hurry up and draw a card. The opponent has a 3 of diamonds. I think with your luck, you should be able to beat him easily. Chinhai laughed heartily. That's for sure. I can easily beat him in a random draw. Without saying anything, Chun Haijin casually drew a poker card and threw it out. However, after throwing it out, even he himself was dumbfounded. He actually drew a 2 of diamonds. The 2 of diamonds was the smallest tile. Haha, God is helping me. I didn't expect your luck to be worse than mine. You actually drew a 2 of spades. Luo Jun, who originally thought he would lose, finally laughed out loud. Even the heavens were helping him. The surrounding people also burst into hisses. This fatty's luck is really bad. Yeah, the other guy drew a 3 and he got a 2. Looks like his luck is really not that good. The 3rd round is going to be interesting. This Luo Jun has an undeserved reputation. I can't believe he remembered the wrong cards. I really don't know what he's doing. Fortunately, he still has one last chance. Chinhai looked at the 2 of spades that was thrown out. He was at a loss. He looked at Lin Fei awkwardly. You see, I told you my luck is really not that good. It was supposed to be a sure win, but I actually drew a 2 of spades. Lin Fei patted Chinhai on the shoulder. It's normal to have good luck and bad luck, but don't you think it's quite exciting? Exciting, of course it's exciting. Chinhai laughed. This is the most exciting game I've ever played in my life. Lin Fei said, then you should play the 3rd round. Use your luck to teach Luo Jun a lesson. Let him know that luck can sweep everything. Can I? Chinhai hesitated. Why don't you go? I'm afraid that I'll draw another 2 of spades. If that happens, I'll lose for sure. Lin Fei laughed. I think I'll pass. People are already saying that I cheated. It's better if you do it later, lest you say that I cheated after you win. Luo Jun's face twitched. After all, he really thought that Chinhai cheated. But there were so many people here and they were so far away. If someone really cheated and could do it to this extent, then that person was even worse than the god of gamblers. Luo Jun absolutely did not believe that there was such a person in the world. You've already won against Chen Zilin once. If you win again, then you can make them kneel in front of you. I guarantee that if they lose, they will definitely kneel in front of you. You can even do whatever you want. Don't you look forward to it? Lin Fei said in a confident tone. Don't you want to give them a hard blow? I've already given you a chance. Look at them. They rely on their brains to make a living, and they can only draw a 3 of diamonds. What's there to be afraid of? Their friends behind them also chimed in. Yeah, Fatty, you have to do it. It's all about luck anyway. Who's afraid of who? I think you'll be able to kill them all. I believe you can. You shouldn't go easy on this kind of woman. Chun Hai's attitude also began to change. Others thought that Luo Jun was very strong, but Chun Hai did not think so. Even the King of Diamonds could be turned into a Three of Diamonds. This seemed to be no different from relying on his own luck. He gritted his teeth and said, Old Lin, I'll listen to you. I'll go for the third round. It's all about luck. Who's afraid of who? Luo Jun's face twitched again. That round was like walking on a single-log bridge. It made Luo Jun's heart tremble. His back was drenched in cold sweat. Now that Chun Hai dared to look down on him, Luo Jun couldn't stand it any more. Chun Hai, just give up. I won't let this happen again in the third round, Luo Jun said fiercely. Upstairs in the monitoring room, the bespectacled technical advisor was the first to act. Check this guy right now. See if he cheated. Also, look at the fatty next to him. The technical advisor knew Luo Jun's ability. It was impossible for him to make any mistakes when it came to memorizing cards. However, the Ace of Diamonds had turned into a Three of Diamonds. This was not a small matter. He immediately suspected that someone had cheated. He knew that Luo Jun would never make such a small mistake. Besides, this kind of card game was child's play. There were no restrictions. Basically, as long as he remembered which card it was, there would be no problem. Supervisor, I haven't found anything yet. These two are newbies. They're too ordinary. They're not from the gambling world at all. Neither of them cheated. The guy who took out $50 million had his hands and feet off the gambling table. There's no suspicion of cheating. Everyone in the room was a veteran. They immediately took out the video and checked it. They slowed it down and replayed it frame by frame. They didn't find any problems. They also checked the identities of the two. There was no problem. How is this possible? Is it really luck? Am I wrong? 2K Reading Net. Chapter 4005. Brother Jun, you will definitely win the third round. Chun Hai's luck is not as good as yours. Chin Zillion chuckled. Luo Jun nodded. That's true. Who do you think I am? I was just careless just now, and he took advantage of me. But in the end, I still won. I won't give him any more chances in the third round. I will definitely win this round. What happened in the second round made Luo Jun very unhappy, so he had to win back everything in the third round. Only by doing so could he let everyone know how powerful Luo Jun was. He even had to correct one point. He used his brain and not his luck. He was not on the same level as these people. This was something he had to make clear. For a gambling master, once luck was involved, how could he be called a gambling master? The beautiful dealer also began to shuffle the cards for the third time. Compared to the previous two times, this time, the dealer shuffled the cards more carefully. The whole process was smooth, and it was even faster than before. The crowd was dazzled. As her hand slid down, another crescent moon appeared. Since both of you have won a round, the winner of the second round will draw first in the third round. Do you have any objections? The beautiful dealer said to Luo Jun. Luo Jun smiled. Of course, I respect your opinion. The beautiful dealer then said to Chun Hai, What about you? Chun Hai was ready to risk it all. He smiled and said, If he draws first, then let him draw first. Anyway, I rely on luck. Maybe his brain won't be as good as my luck later. However, in the eyes of many people, the winning chance of the third round had quietly shifted to Luo Jun. Everyone knew that Luo Jun's skill would never make any mistakes again. They would rather believe that the last round was a mistake. In the third round, Luo Jun would definitely go all out. By then, the fat man would lose without a doubt. It was difficult to cheat under such circumstances because the distance between the cards of both sides was too far. Luo Jun naturally knew that this was the advantage given to him by the beautiful dealer. For a gambling master, Drawing first was equivalent to grasping a 90% chance of winning. As for the remaining 10%, it was basically negligible, especially when the opponent was Chen Hai, a guy who did not know how to gamble. Luo Jun would not quietly eat Chen Hai's 3 million worth of chips. Chen Hai, open your eyes wide and watch. This time, I will make sure you accept your defeat wholeheartedly. I will show you that luck is useless in front of true brains. Luo Jun once again stretched out his slender finger and gently swiped it. With a light flick of his fingernail, one of the poker cards fell down, gently. A conspicuous ace of hearts on the table appeared in everyone's eyes, instantly causing a burst of cheers. Young Master Luo is indeed young Master Luo. What a great move to find the cards from 1,000 miles away. This time, Fatty Chen will definitely lose. This is the Ace of Hearts. Young Master Luo has basically locked the victory unless that kid can draw an Ace of Spades. But it's impossible for him to draw an Ace of Spades. Luo Jun flipped over the Ace of Hearts and felt a little regretful in his heart. In fact, he wanted to pull out the Ace of Spades. After all, the Ace of Spades was the biggest card. As long as the Ace of Spades was taken out, the outcome of the battle would be decided. Unfortunately, the shuffling was too fast. He couldn't keep up with it, but he managed to remember it. Ace of Hearts, Ace of Clubs. Although the Ace of Hearts was not as big as the Ace of Spades, for this third round, it had basically locked the outcome of the battle. Did you see that? This is strength. I will gladly accept your friend's 50 million yuan. Chen Zilin sneered at Chen Hai. My man is amazing. The Ace of Hearts. Didn't you say that you were lucky? Then why don't you draw the Ace of Spades and let everyone see what is called invincible luck? Chen Hai was indeed shocked. Originally, he wanted to defeat Luo Jun with luck. But when the Ace of Hearts came out, he was suddenly dumbfounded and became less confident. He secretly glanced at Lin Fei next to him and found that Lin Fei had always been calm. It seemed that the appearance of the Ace of Hearts had not changed at all. At this time, Lin Fei glanced at Chen Hai with a smile. He has already drawn a card. What are you waiting for? Go and give him a slap and teach him a lesson. Let him know what it means to be invincible luck. Chen Hai was not confident at first, but somehow, in the face of his old classmate Lin Fei's smile, he felt a sense of calmness, as if he was sure to win this time. Chen Haijin believed in this feeling. Forget it. I will draw first. Since things had come to this, Chen Hai didn't say anything more. He casually glanced at the poker cards on the table, grabbed one, and closed his eyes. It was really a very casual card. Luo Jun smiled. He knew he had won. He remembered this card. It was a 6 of spades. The poker card was thrown onto the gambling table. In the eyes of the crowd, no matter what the fat man drew, he would lose. What a pity. That's 50 million yuan. This is the biggest bet of the glorious resort villa for a long time. Chen Hai, just admit defeat. From the moment you drew the card, I knew you had lost. Luo Jun said disdainfully. The poker card rolled out and finally revealed itself. The smear of black on the card became extremely dazzling. Next to him, Chen Zilin's face paled. She screamed, Ace of Spades! This is the Ace of Spades. How is this possible? This is impossible. It was unknown how many people were dumbfounded by this scream. All eyes were on the card. Oh my God, it's the Ace of Spades. This is really invincible luck. Who knows where this fat man came from? How can he draw the Ace of Spades? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Those who thought that Chen Hai would lose for sure were now dumbfounded. The flipped cards became glaring at this moment. They felt as if they had been slapped in the face, and they felt a burning sensation. Chen Hai was also stunned. Then he danced with joy. Ha 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 ha, I drew the Ace of Spades. I won. I won. Old Lin, I won. Chen Hai laughed. *TCH, kneel down. From beginning to end, Lin Fei only had a faint smile on his face. I told you that you would win, because our luck is invincible. Luo Jun's face turned pale. You must have cheated. That card was obviously the 6 of spades. How did it become the ace of spades? In the blink of an eye, Luo Jun, who thought he had won, fell from the clouds. It was normal to lose once, but this time it was too abnormal. Even Luo Jun could not keep up with the ace of spades. He felt that all these years of learning had been in vain. Chapter 4006. Just when everyone thought that Luo Jun was going to win the game, reality played a huge joke on them. Luo Jun had lost. He had lost completely. No one could believe that luck could really beat Luo Jun, who was good at gambling. You cheated. You must have cheated. My boyfriend is so good. There's no way he would lose. Chen Zilin jumped up in panic. Just a moment ago, Chen Zilin was still fantasizing about buying a house, a few new bags, and even a supercar after winning 50 million. But now, in the blink of an eye, everything was gone. She even had to kneel in front of Chen Hai. Chen Zilin couldn't accept this. She jumped up on the spot. Chen Hai laughed. A loss is a loss. What's there to quibble about? You said that I cheated, then show me the evidence. If you don't have any evidence, then you'll have to kneel down in front of me. Chen Hai was more excited than ever. Lin Fei laughed. Didn't you hear what my friend said? Since you've lost, then you'll have to fulfill your request. My 50 million is not that easy to get. Luo Jun knew better than anyone that he had lost this time, but he couldn't figure out how he had lost. After all, it was an ace of spades. In his heart, he didn't believe that Chen Hai had the ability to draw an ace of spades so casually. He had drawn an ace of spades, and this was under the condition that he had a good memory. But what kind of person Chen Hai was, he knew better than anyone else. He was just an ordinary person. How could an ordinary person draw an ace of spades? But it was another problem for Luo Jun to figure out how Chen Hai had cheated. No matter what, he had lost this time. He had lost completely. Originally, he wanted to win the game, but in the blink of an eye, he had become a joke again. He even vaguely felt that he had won the last game purely because Chen Hai had gone easy on him. Chen Hai had wanted him to fall from the clouds and smash him hard on the ground. This idea was really ridiculous. How else could it be explained? Could it be that luck was really invincible? Luo Jun wouldn't believe it even if he was beaten to death. Chen Hai, you win. I lost this game. You can take the 5 million and even the 3 million I won just now. What do you think? Luo Jun said, suppressing his irritation. It was impossible to make Luo Jun kneel down, so he would rather not have these chips and 5 million in his hands. After all, it was only 8 million in total. It was really nothing to him. If he lost, then he lost. But if he knelt down, then it would be a completely different matter. He would soon become a big joke in the circle, and he wouldn't be able to raise his head for a long time. He was a master in the gambling world, but he actually suffered a big setback in such a small scene, and was even forced to kneel down. How could he continue to stay in the circle? Chen Hai shook his head and said, The 3 million you lost was originally yours. I don't want your 3 million. Of course, I want the 5 million you lost. However, I still want you to kneel in front of me. Of course, you can be cheap, but I don't mind advertising for you. Of course, I want you to kneel. Just take the 8 million. Luo Jun looked at Chen Hai. Kneel down. I'll make you kneel down. Otherwise, I'll really cause a ruckus today. It was rare for Chen Hai to vent his anger, but after hearing Luo Jun's words, Chen Hai was not willing to accept it. He wanted Luo Jun and Chen Zilin to kneel in front of him. Only then would he be able to vent his anger. Chen Hai stopped dreaming. I, Chen Zilin, will never kneel in front of you for the rest of my life. Chen Zilin said. She took Luo Jun's hand and prepared to leave. Let's go. Don't talk to these two lunatics. Who knows if they cheated or not? Chen Zilin knew how powerful Luo Jun was. She didn't believe that he would lose in such a small game. Chen Hai must have cheated. Otherwise, how could all this happen? Lin Fei saw it all. He said calmly, If you lose, you should know that you have lost. You can't say that we didn't pay up because we lost 50 million. I took out 50 million in good faith. Now that you have lost, you want to renege on your debt? You think 8 million is a lot? I think you should just kneel in front of me. Do you really want to go too far? Luo Jun sneered. If I don't kneel, what can you do to me? Don't say that I didn't give you face. Take the 8 million and get out of here. Luo Jun was also confident. He could lose 8 million yuan, but it was impossible for him to kneel down. He was not afraid that Chun Hai and this guy would make trouble. If they dared to make trouble, they would not be able to leave the glorious resort villa today. Lin Fei smiled and said, Are you sure you won't kneel? I won't kneel. What can you do to me? I don't even suspect that you cheated. I'm just being polite to you. Lin Fei laughed. All right then, I'll fulfill your wish. Now kneel. It was a sentence that was neither light nor heavy. No one felt that there was anything wrong with it. However, it was different for Luo Jun and Qin Zilin. There was a loud bang in their heads. It was as if they had been struck by lightning. Fear and uneasiness surged in their hearts. Then they exploded. Their legs went completely soft, and they knelt on the ground with a thud. This kneel was solid and solid. Everyone could hear it clearly. It was definitely an old pain. The two of them grinned. When the people next to them saw this, they all took out their phones to take pictures. Young Master Luo is indeed young Master Luo. He actually knelt down. This is unbelievable. He obviously didn't want to kneel. Could it be that he thought it through? The crowd did not know why Luo Jun knelt down. However, they would never forget such a scene for the rest of their lives. They quickly took out their phones and took a video. When they had nothing to do, they could take it out and brag about it. Be asterisk starred. How dare you ask me to kneel? Luo Jun roared. His mind was blank. He struggled to stand up. But when he tried to stand up, he felt a terrifying force pressing down on his body. He couldn't move. Just like that, he knelt on the ground. What did you do to us? Why can't I stand up? Luo Jun was panicking. He wanted to stand up, but he couldn't. He had never encountered such a situation before. Luo Jun finally realized that this friend of Chun Hai was not a simple person. Qin Zilin, who was next to him, also screamed, I don't want to kneel. I want to stand up. I don't want to kneel. But no matter how much Qin Zilin screamed, it was useless. A wave of pressure pressed down on them. Qin Hai was at a loss, but he immediately became excited. Qin Zilin, to think that this day would come for you. Didn't you say that you wouldn't kneel? Why are you kneeling now? You women. Lin Fei smiled and said, I see that you're quite unhappy with this Qin Zilin. Since you're unhappy, go and give them a few tight slaps. A man can't be a coward. Chapter 4007. Everyone was shocked again when they heard this. Not only did he make the man kneel down, but he also asked someone to go up and beat him up. Who was this young man? That was Luo Jun. It was said that he had a lot of connections with splendid resort villa. He could do whatever he wanted here. How dare you? Luo Jun yelled. Qin Hai, if you dare touch me, I will not forgive you. Luo Jun couldn't get up now, but if he was slapped in the face again, it would be a complete joke. And you, I don't care who you are or where you come from. I will make you regret it. Luo Jun was now more and more certain that this guy must be cheating. It was just that his methods were too subtle. Security, come over here. Qin Zilin shouted. Security, come over here and arrest them. They must be cheating. Qin Zilin was also a smart person. What a pair of dog and dog. Lin Fei didn't care about what Luo Jun and Qin Zilin said. No one knew better than Lin Fei that Chun Hai had been suppressing his anger for a long time. If he didn't release it in time, sooner or later, he would have a mental breakdown. Lin Fei was helping Chun Hai to release some of his emotions. As for whether Chun Hai dared to do it, it was up to him. Only by releasing his emotions could he relieve the pressure on him. Can I really do it? Chun Hai's eyes flashed a trace of ruthlessness. After all, He hated Chen Zilin and Luo Jun more than anyone else. Now that he thought about it, Chen Zilin was deliberately provoking him. Otherwise, he wouldn't have lost 3 million yuan. If it weren't for Lin Fei, Chen Hai believed that he would have lost even more. All this was thanks to Lin Fei's help. Lin Fei said, "I can guarantee that the two of them will only kneel there and let you hit them as you please. The premise is that you can't be a coward. I'm a man. I won't be a coward. Today, I will let this bitch know how powerful I am." Chen Hai drank a little today. Although he was not completely sober, he was still very sober. As the saying goes, drinking makes people brave. Chen Hai was like this now. Chen Hai stood up and walked towards Chen Zilin. Chen Zilin panicked and screamed, "Chen Hai, don't you dare! If you dare touch me, I'll kill you." Chen Hai hurried over and slapped Chen Zilin's face. "You bitch, I've tolerated you for a long time." This slap caused Chen Zilin's beautiful face to instantly swell up. Under normal circumstances, Chen Zilin would have been sent flying. But now Chen Zilin couldn't move. She could only kneel on the ground and let Chen Hai slap her face. "Chen Hai, how dare you hit me? I'll kill you." Chen Zilin's screams only made Chen Hai hate Chen Zilin even more. The fat palm slapped down again. "Come, let's see how you're going to fight me." Pa 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 pa. Chen Hai's palms landed on Chen Zilin's face again and again. "Who told you to be with other men outside? Who told you to use my money to sleep with other men? You asked for it. I, Chen Hai, am also a man. Since when did you have the right to betray me? You want money, I give you money. You want things, I buy them for you. How can you not be satisfied?" Chen Hai's heart was indeed full of anger. At this moment, facing Chen Zilin, he finally vented it. He slapped Chen Zilin's face again and again. In the beginning, Chen Zilin was still struggling and screaming, but Chen Hai was too strong. After a dozen slaps, Chen Zilin's face was swollen. Blood was flowing from the corner of her mouth. Her face was also distorted. "Chen Hai, I beg you, don't hit me. I'm wrong. Don't hit me." Chen Zilin's face was full of fear and anxiety. She kept begging for mercy. "Now you know you're wrong. How did you treat me in the beginning?" Chen Hai slapped her again. "Today, I'll beat you to death, you be *TCH, so you don't have to go out and seduce other men." With each slap, the anger in Chen Hai's heart was gradually vented. Chen Zilin, on the other hand, was soon beaten into a pig's head. Even her beautiful makeup was ruined. Now, no matter how one looked at it, she was in a sorry state. "That's enough, my friend. If you continue like this, you'll be miserable." Luo Jun was afraid of Chen Hai now. After all, Chen Zilin looked really miserable. He was afraid that when Chen Hai shifted his gaze to him, he would be miserable. Luo Jun knew that it must be this D*Ned guy who did this. Otherwise, how could he and Chen Zilin be like a block of wood? No matter how many times Chen Zilin hit them, they wouldn't fall. "Luo Jun, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known that you existed." Chen Hai turned his gaze to Luo Jun. He raised his hand and slapped Luo Jun's face. "You be **starred. Just now, you deliberately provoked me and caused me to lose $3 million. You have guts, but in the end, you still lost to me." Chen Hai slapped Luo Jun again. This time he used more force. It was far stronger than Chen Zilin's slap. Luo Jun's face was swollen. It even made Luo Jun spit out a bloody tooth. "Chen Hai, you're dead. You're finished. If I don't teach you a lesson." Before Luo Jun could finish his sentence, Chen Hai raised his hand and slapped him again. In an instant, Luo Jun fell to the ground. Chen Hai raised his hand and kicked him again. Luo Jun flew more than 10 meters away. Luo Jun curled up like a shrimp on the spot. I hit you. What can you do about it?" Lin Fei looked at the scene with a smile. "Fatty, that's right. Don't keep it to yourself. When it comes to people you're unhappy with, There's only one way to deal with them. Just go up and beat them up. Chin Hai said gratefully, "Thank you, Elder Lin. I feel so much better now. I've never felt so good before. I didn't know that hitting people could feel so good." Lin Fei laughed heartily. "Of course it's good to hit people. In fact, the more you hit them, the better it feels." Chen Hai nodded vigorously. "Now I have a deeper understanding of it." After hitting Qin Zilin and Luo Jun, Chen Hai felt really good. "Oh no, the security guards are here. This is bad." Someone cried out in alarm. Someone had already notified the security guards about the disturbance, especially since Luo Jun was involved. A group of 8 security guards in black suits walked over. "Young Master Luo, what's wrong?" A few security guards helped Luo Jun up. Luo Jun's face was bruised and swollen. He pointed at Chen Hai. "Arrest them immediately. I suspect that they're cheating. If they dare to resist, beat them up." Luo Jun's eyes were murderous. Even though he was beaten up, Luo Jun still knew what to say. He knew that they were cheating. Chapter 4008. When the security guards arrived, Luo Jun seemed to have found his backbone. He no longer had to worry about being beaten up by Chen Hai. He was really scared. When other people saw this scene, they couldn't help but worry about Chen Hai and the young man. Who didn't know that Luo Jun had great power here? Just look at the security guards. They knew who Luo Jun was. If things didn't go well, these 2 people would have to suffer. "You too, come with us." Of all places to cheat. Why would you try to cheat in our splendid holiday villa? "You sure have guts," the leader of the security guards said as he walked over. His gaze was so fierce that it was terrifying. Although Chen Hai was fat, how could he be the opponent of this fierce security guard? Just one look was enough to make Chen Hai take a step back. "Who said we cheated? Show me the evidence. If you don't have evidence, then fart. Is this how your brilliant resort villa slander people?" Chen Hai could only bite the bullet and say, there were so many people here, he really didn't believe that these people would dare to do anything. Whether or not we cheated, we will know after we bring him back and ask him. The fierce-looking security guard stretched out his hand and grabbed Chen Hai. This grab showed that he had some skills, and he was using the grappling hand. The fierce security guard was used to catching people. He knew that Chen Hai couldn't escape. He dared to cheat in the brilliant resort villa and beat people. He was really bold. When Chen Hai couldn't escape, a hand stretched out, tightly grabbed the fierce security guard and gently squeezed. The fierce-looking security guard's face turned red as he yelled, "Let go of me! Let go of me right now!" Lin Fei gently shook his hand, and the fierce security guard stepped back and sat on the ground. "What are you all still standing there for? Hurry up and capture these 2 fellows." The remaining 7 security guards didn't expect that this person would dare to resist. They all grabbed rubber bats and hit Lin Fei. "How dare you be presumptuous here? Who do you think you are?" These security guards were also hot-tempered. No one had ever dared to cause trouble here. Those who dared to cause trouble would always be taught a lesson by the security guards before their families came to take them away. This was because the splendid holiday villa had a powerful background, who wouldn't treat them with respect. The so-called fox, assuming the tiger's might was exactly like this. Therefore, when they attacked, they had no intention of showing mercy at all. They had the mentality of beating this person up first. "Old Lin, be careful!" Chen Hai shouted. "Their lousy skills can't do anything to me." Lin Fei walked up with a smile. None of the rubber sticks hit Lin Fei. Lin Fei raised his leg and kicked them. Bang, 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 bang. Every kick hit a security guard. In an instant, the 7 security guards were sent flying. They couldn't get up for a long time. "Look, it's that easy." This scene scared Luo Jun so much that he took a few steps back and sat on the ground. His face was pale. "You dare to hit me? You're finished. You're really finished. Don't even think about leaving this place today." Luo Jun had underestimated this person. He dared to hit people in public, but the more this was the case, the more excited he became. Chun Hai was also hot-tempered. He was already in a bad mood, so he rushed up and started to punch and kick Luo Jun. Who's finished? I think you're the one who's finished. Coward, let's play some more. Chun Hai kicked Luo Jun's body again and again. In an instant, Chun Hai started crying. He cried for his father and mother. He could only hold his head with both hands and curl up on the ground. He couldn't make a sound for a long time. Old Lin, let's go. Chun Hai kicked Luo Jun again and turned around. Anyway, the matter was already out, leaving the splendid holiday villa first. Once they were outside, Chun Hai would definitely find a way to deal with it. At worst, they could just leave Dong Hai and hide for a while. He didn't believe that the people of the splendid holiday villa would keep chasing them. Lin Fei laughed. Why should we run? We didn't cheat. What's there to worry about? Chun Hai was also confused. He didn't know what was going on in his old desk mate's mind. If you want to leave, you'll have to ask this young master first. You dare to cheat in my casino? You have guts. At this time, a loud voice came from afar. Everyone saw a group of people coming over. A dozen people surrounded a young man as he walked over. When this young man appeared, a few of the regular customers secretly sucked in a breath of cold air. Why is this owner here? Doesn't he rarely come here? If Luo Jun could do whatever he wanted here, then this young man was the owner of the splendid holiday villa. His background was really deep, and that was no joke. Most people had only heard of this person's name, but had never seen him. In particular, the number of times he appeared in the casino could be counted on one hand. However, no one dared to ignore this young man's ability. In the Dong Hai, it could be said that he could do whatever he wanted. Lai Xian was in a bad mood. Since the last time he suffered at the hands of Lin Fei and was warned by his third uncle, he had no choice but to come to the splendid holiday villa to relax. His mood recovered a lot. Although he gnashed his teeth at Lin Fei, Lai Xian was also a smart person. Naturally, he knew that the kid was in the limelight recently. Moreover, he made several masters suffer a big loss in the Longtintin Mountain Villa, so he didn't dare to say anything. Therefore, before he figured out what was going on, Lai Xian didn't dare to really make things difficult for Lin Fei. After all, it was not worth it for the Lai family to do something bad. He didn't expect that a fight would happen in his casino, and it seemed that the person who beat him was the brother of one of his lovers. Lai Xian had no choice but to come out personally. He wanted to see what kind of coward dared to come out and make trouble. Since he couldn't deal with Lin Fei, he would vent his anger on this kind of small fry. Therefore, Lai Xian decided that no matter who this person was, he would just directly cripple him. Everyone stepped aside. Lai Xian walked over with an expressionless face. His body was so fierce that many people didn't dare to look up. I heard that you don't plan to let me leave. When Lai Xian walked in, he was greeted with a familiar tone. What a big tone. Why don't you look at you? Lai Xian didn't even look at him and scolded him. However, halfway through his words, his whole body suddenly trembled and he blurted out, why are you here? This was the person Lai Xian didn't want to see the most. Young Master Lai, quickly help me vent my anger. These two guys not only cheated, but also beat me. It's best to break all their limbs. When Luo Jun saw Lai Xian, he immediately climbed up and leaned over like a dog. He fiercely said to Lin Fei and Chun Hai, Scram! Lai Xian kicked Luo Jun's body and sent him flying more than 10 meters away. He heavily smashed into a gambling table. With a crack, the gambling table collapsed. 2K Reading Network. Chapter 4009. It was a sudden turn of events. Who knew how many people at the scene were shocked? No one had expected this young man to suddenly fly into a rage. Luo Jun, who was rather famous, had been sent flying more than 10 meters away with a single kick, smashing the gambling table. Many people gasped inwardly because after the gambling table collapsed, numerous cracks appeared on it, and it was a ghastly sight. If it had been them, they would probably have fainted on the spot. Luo Jun, who was smashed on the gambling table, widened his eyes. Blood trickled down the corner of his mouth as he stared at the ceiling. His mind was blank. He could not understand why young Master Lai would kick him. He had not done anything wrong. Why would he do such a thing? He was in a daze. This is a holiday villa. Can't I come here? Lin Fei said with a smile. Chun Hai and his classmates, who were standing at the side, stared with their eyes wide open and their mouths agape. Although they did not know who this young man was, the power of that kick had truly shocked them. At that moment, they realized that this old classmate of theirs seemed to be a little different. There was a mysterious air about him, and it was obvious that he was someone of status. Yes, who said no? Lai Xian actually did not want to see Lin Fei. He had no choice but to kick Luo Jun just now. He was really annoyed that Luo Jun had to offend Lin Fei of all people. After all, Lin Fei was very powerful now. Even he himself was no match for him. And third uncle's words kept ringing in his ears. Lai Xian felt that it was best not to offend Lin Fei for the time being. As for what kind of person his brother-in-law was, Lai Xian knew very well that it was impossible for Lin Fei to cheat. Lin Fei was a grandmaster expert, so there was no need for him to cheat. Lin Shang smiled and said, "This is a holiday villa. You can come, I can come. Everyone can come." Lai Xian squeezed out an ugly smile and said, "Yes." Lin Fei laughed. "That's more like it. Since we're doing business, the resort villa should look like a resort villa." "Oh right, my friend doesn't like that Luo Jun and that Qinzi Lin be *tch. You should know what to do." Lai Xian was not interested in finding out what had happened between the two of them. He only knew that he could not allow Lin Fei to get angry here. Otherwise, the entire holiday villa would be torn apart by him. This was a loss that Lai Xian could not bear. Although he had suffered at Lin Fei's hands, the news had not really spread out. Therefore, it was best not to spread this matter if it did not have to. Chun Zilin, who was already trembling in fear, screamed when she heard Chun Hai's words. In an instant, she threw herself onto Chun Hai's feet and hugged his thigh. "Ahai, please spare me. I know I was wrong. I really know I was wrong. Please let me go." Chun Zilin had seen this young man before. Her own man had to kneel in front of this young Master Lai. No one knew this young man's background better than her. But now this young man was terrifying. This powerful young Master Lai had sent her boyfriend flying with a kick. One could only imagine how powerful this friend of Chun Hai's was. Chun Zilin did not dare to imagine. The only thing she could do was beg for Chun Hai's forgiveness. She knew that if she was taken away, her fate would be very miserable. Therefore, Chun Zilin did not care about her pride anymore. She hugged Chun Hai's thigh and cried. She was as sad as she could be. She was regretting it. If she had known that Chun Hai had such a powerful friend, she would not have broken up with him. Many people at the scene could not stand it anymore, but no one dared to stand up and say a word. "Old Lin, why don't we just let this go? After all, I have nothing to do with this bitch. She can do whatever she wants in the future." In the end, Chun Hai was still a soft-hearted person. After all, he was a rich second-generation heir. He had heard a lot of insider information and knew that his desk mate was definitely someone with a high status. Lin Fei said, "Since you've already spoken, I will definitely listen to you. But let's forget about that Luo Jun. I think it's better not to meet people like him again. What do you think, young Master Lai?" Lai Xian did not like this feeling, but he did not dare to say anything. "No problem. From today onwards, you will never see Luo Jun in Donghai again." Without saying a word, someone immediately went over and dragged Luo Jun out like a dead dog. "We've seen this place. Let's go." After Lin Fei said this, Chun Hai and the other students did not have any objections. Just like that, they followed Lin Fei out. Actually, they did not want to stay here anymore. Lai Xian did not say a word from the beginning to the end. Even if he was unhappy, he did not show too much of it. Anyone who comes here tonight will get a small subsidy of 10,000 yuan. I hope everyone will be satisfied. Since something like this had happened, as the boss, Lai Xian had to deal with it. 10,000 yuan per person meant that they would have to fork out at least a few million yuan. It was equivalent to losing an entire night's worth of profit. Lai Xian had to do this. Surnamed Lin, I'll remember this. Old Lin, you've really hidden yourself well. I've seen that guy before. He's a big shot. To think that he would be so well-behaved in front of you. Tell me the truth. Are you a hidden, super second-generation heir? Once they left the casino, Chen Hai could not wait to ask. Actually, Chen Hai was already prepared to be taken away. But in the blink of an eye, the situation had changed so much that Chen Hai could not come back to his senses. It was the same for the other students. They were even secretly glad that they did not say anything bad in front of Lin Fei. Otherwise, they might be in deep trouble. Looking at Soldier Luo's arrogance, but in the end he was dragged out like a dead dog. Just thinking about it was scary. Lin Fei said, I'm just an ordinary person. What's so great about me? But I know that guy. Last time when we were free, we sparred a little. He lost a round to me, so he owes me a favor. Now that we've met again, he has no confidence. Are you sure that's the case? Chen Hai did not think that it was possible. After all, that guy had a big shot. Even a billion-dollar boss would have to be careful around him. Of course. What else could it be? Just remember that I'm your old desk mate. Chen Hai suddenly said seriously. Chen Hai suddenly said in a serious tone. Then I really have to thank you, my old classmate. I never thought that one day that bitch would hug my thigh and cry her eyes out. Thank you for letting me vent my anger. How does that feel? Lin Fei laughed. Of course it feels good. Chen Hai nodded. Shook House website. Chapter 4010. Kai Shan was in a good mood recently. This was because he had swept through all the dojos in East Sea one by one. Not a single dojo was his match. In his eyes, these dojos were too weak and didn't deserve their reputation. On this day, Kai Shan kicked out the last dojo. This was all within Kai Shan's expectations. Even though the Yan Huang battle team had been watching him these days, Kai Shan didn't think much of it. Kai Shan was very clear about his influence in Southeast Asia. As long as he did not do anything overboard in China, basically no one would do anything to him. Even the Yan Huang battle team was the same. At most, they would just keep an eye on him like they were doing now. Kai Shan came out of the dojo and sat in a Mercedes again, his eyes narrowed. Now there's only one thing left, and that is to go to the Lai family and compete with the #1 expert of the Lai family to see who's stronger. Kai Shan wasn't in a hurry to challenge Lin Fei of the Longting Villa, although he knew that Lin Fei from the Longting Villa was mysterious and that someone was secretly adding fuel to the fire to make him the #1 expert in the Eastern Sea. There was one thing he needed to do before that, and that was to make a trip to the Lai clan. Only by wiping out the true #1 expert clan in the Eastern Sea would he be able to head to the Longting Villa with his supreme divine might and defeat Lin Fei, thoroughly proving his strength. Compared to defeating Lin Fei of the Longting Villa, Kai Shan preferred to defeat the #1 expert of East Sea, Lai Tian of the Lai family. The black Mercedes drove along the road towards the Lai family. Kai Shan knew that once he went to the Lai family, Lai Tian would definitely return. When they passed by a crossroad, Kai Shan, who had been resting, suddenly opened his eyes. His eyes shone brightly with joy. He subconsciously looked to the left. At the crossroad, there was a group of people waiting for the traffic light. There were both men and women. Kai Shan quickly locked onto a young figure and couldn't help but take a few more glances. His expression was filled with ecstasy. Ha 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 ha! I didn't expect to encounter this kind of thousandine body. I didn't expect there to be such a body in Huaxia. I can wear out iron shoes in a fruitless search, only to find it by chance. Kai Shan was ecstatic. He asked the driver to stop the car in front and got out. Very quickly, it locked onto a person. As the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia, Kai Shan was dressed the same. At most, his skin was a little darker. Standing on the street, there was nothing special about him. He looked just like an ordinary old man, except that he was a little skinnier. Kai Shan's gaze was fixed on one person. Su Mei, who was still walking in front, did not know. Since leaving the design unit that day, Su Mei had been busy dealing with her own affairs. As a result, Su Mei's mood was very good these few days, and she always had a faint smile on her face. At the same time, he also searched for relevant information online. You don't say, but you did find something interesting. He paid more attention to the gate of martial arts. At this moment, he naturally did not notice a skinny figure following him from a distance. Su Mei returned to her residence. Kai Shan followed her all the way to her residence, and then quickly locked onto the room where Su Mei was. 10,000 yin body. There are women in Huaxia who have such a pure 10,000 yin body. I've only heard of this kind of physique in rumors. I didn't expect to encounter it in Huaxia this time. As long as I refine this 10,000 yin body, my tame head skill will be able to reach a higher level. At that time, I'll be able to easily kill a guru expert. Kai Shan was now very sure of this girl's physique. This unexpected surprise made Kai Shan fall into a state of ecstasy all the time. If this was not Huaxia, Kai Shan would have made a move immediately. Right now, Kai Shan was not in a hurry. He had already remembered this place. The only thing he needed to do now was to continue observing. Such a 10,000 yin body could be said to be rare in 100 years. Kai Shan felt that he was blessed by the goddess of luck. Otherwise, how could he encounter such a physique? Kai Shan did not return to the hotel. Instead, he sat down in a small restaurant near the community and ordered something. Kai Shan did not want this woman with the 10,000 yin body to disappear under his eyes. After all, Donghai was so big. Once she left, he did not know when he would be able to find her again. Lin Fei and Chen Hai, who were on vacation at the Brilliant Mountain Villa, did not leave the Brilliant Mountain Villa because of the incident at the casino. One had to admit that Lai Xian was quite good at doing things. The next morning, he arranged for someone to send $100,000 to each of Lin Fei's friends as compensation for their mental distress. Lin Fei did not know whether to laugh or cry when he found out. $100,000 isn't much. Anyway, he has plenty of money to give to you. You can buy whatever you want. There's no need to worry. Lin Fei was not surprised at all. However, he was impressed by Lai Xian's ability to do things. When the students heard this, they all heaved a sigh of relief. To be honest, $100,000 was not a small sum to them. This also made them realize that their old classmate, Lin Fei, had really made a name for himself. There were actually people who took the initiative to give them money. $100,000 per person might not seem like much, but they had about 2 or 3 million with them. The female students also got one each, and all of them were 100,000 yuan. Their faces were full of chatter. Old classmate, not only are we here to have fun, but we're also going to earn a fortune. It feels like a dream, Su Xiaowan said with a chuckle. Now, I'm starting to wonder if you're a super rich second generation. Lin Fei laughed. Actually, I want to be a super rich second generation too. Unfortunately, I'm an orphan. I guess I can only dream at night to be a super rich second generation. Everyone burst into laughter. Today was the last day of the party. After dinner, everyone left, chatting and laughing. Old Lin, come to my house when you're free, Chen Hai said before he left. Don't worry. After this period, I'll definitely visit your house and give you a surprise. Lin Fei smiled and kept Chen Hai in suspense. Chen Hai's eyes lit up. Are you planning to give me a Ms. Perfect? Lin Fei laughed. I guarantee that she'll be more perfect than a Ms. Perfect. You'll definitely like her. Chen Hai chuckled. Then I'll be waiting for your surprise. After everyone left, only Xiaolan and Su Xiaowan were left. Brother Lin, You don't mind taking a ride in your car, do you? I've never sat in a luxury car in my life. Well, you're Xiaolan's best friend. It's no problem for you to take a ride. 2K Reading Net. Chapter 4011. He sent Xiaolan and Su Xiaowan back to the neighborhood. Lin Fei left. He had planned to stay at Xiaolan's place for one night, but Su Xiaowan, her best friend, had no intention of returning to Hangzhou. Moreover, she did not like to stay in a hotel, so she could only stay at Xiaolan's place. Lin Fei had to leave first. As a man, he felt that Su Xiaowan seemed to have a purpose for coming here. Of course, this was a matter between the two women. Lin Fei was too lazy to get involved. Whatever they did had nothing to do with him. The car drove out of the neighborhood and did not go far. Lin Fei suddenly frowned. He stopped by the side of the road and pinched his fingers. Strange, my spiritual imprint on Su Mei seems to have been affected. This should not be the case. Since he left last time, Lin Fei had left a spiritual imprint on Su Mei. After all, she was his first apprentice, who was also his senior sister. Naturally, nothing could happen to her. Originally, the feeling was not very strong at the seaside because the distance between the two was a little far. After returning to Donghai, the spiritual imprint was reconnected. However, just now Lin Fei felt a slight change. The change was very subtle, but for an immortal expert like Lin Fei, he could sense it clearly. Could it be that Su Mei encountered some trouble again? Lin Fei knew that Su Mei had a 10,000 yin body, which was the most likely to cause ghosts. Therefore, the spiritual imprint he left could not only lock on to Su Mei's location, but also detect if there was a problem. Now, the spiritual imprint was dissipating a little, which should not have happened under normal circumstances. Lin Fei decided to go and see Su Mei, hoping that nothing bad would happen to her. It was not easy for him to find an apprentice, especially a female apprentice with a 10,000 yin body. If something happened to her during this period, it would be really shameful. Lin Fei secretly rejoiced that he had returned. Otherwise, something might have really happened to his disciple. After all, the spiritual imprint that he had left behind couldn't be easily destroyed by anything. However, he could feel that the spiritual imprint was dissipating. Something must have happened. Lin Fei took out his phone and called Su Mei. The call was quickly connected. Master, you are finally willing to give me a call. I thought you had forgotten to play. Once the call was connected, Su Mei's voice came through. Lin Fei heaved a sigh of relief. Naturally, he could hear Su Mei's coquettish tone. This was because Xiaolan had used his phone to send a few pictures of the scenery when they were at the resort. Lin Fei didn't mind at that time. If Xiaolan wanted to do it, he let her do it. He didn't expect his disciple to see it and actually act coquettishly towards him. Lin Fei did not know whether to laugh or cry. Didn't I just come back? I'll definitely bring you there next time. By the way, how have you been recently? Did anything happen? Su Mei was in her room with a smile on her face. I feel pretty good recently, but it seems that there will be an inexplicable cold wind at home sometimes. Other than this, there really isn't anything else. Su Mei thought about it and said, "Yin wind?" Lin Fei frowned. Are you at home now? I'll come over and take a look for you. Then I'll have to trouble Master. I'm at home now. Su Mei jumped out of bed. Master is here. I have to dress up. After hanging up the phone, Lin Fei secretly pondered, but he couldn't figure out what this cold wind was. He would go and take a look when he arrived. Anyway, it wasn't very far from here. Before driving into the neighborhood, Lin Fei stopped not far from the neighborhood. What a powerful cold aura. This is a demonic expert. Even though he was sitting in the car, Lin Fei could feel the cold aura not far away. Others might not be able to sense it, but Lin Fei could sense it clearly. It seems that my disciple has really been targeted by someone. There's actually such a powerful yin qi. No wonder there are cold winds in the room. The other party must have entered my disciple's room. Even if they didn't enter, They must have used demonic methods to check. In fact, Kaishan had indeed controlled demonic creatures to enter Sumei's room, leaving behind cold winds. Although it wasn't very obvious, Sumei had the 10,000 yin constitution, so she was more sensitive than anyone else. Lin Fei sneered and walked out of the car. His aura was perfectly restrained, making him look like an ordinary person. He was very inconspicuous. He didn't walk far. Lin Fei sensed a gloomy and cold aura in a restaurant. It was a skinny old man with dark skin, like an old man from the countryside. Perhaps he didn't feel anything for others, but in Lin Fei's eyes, this person was a demonic expert. No, this person must not be cultivating an ordinary demonic technique. Additionally, he doesn't look like a Chinese. Could he be someone from Southeast Asia? Lin Fei was quick to come up with a theory. That's right. Could this person be Kaishan? With such a powerful aura and a cold aura lingering around his body, it was not difficult to guess the identity of the expert who had appeared recently. Lin Fei had never seen Kaishan before, but based on his aura, it was most likely Kaishan. To confirm, Lin Fei gave Taijan a call. I want a photo of Kaishan. Send it to my phone immediately. Lin Fei didn't need to be polite with Taijan. He just wanted to confirm if this old man was Kaishan. If it was Kaishan, then Lin Fei wouldn't be polite. He was prepared to deal with Kaishan slowly. But this guy actually dared to target his disciple. That was unforgivable. The other party was the #1 tame headmaster in Southeast Asia and cultivated evil methods. It was normal for Kaishan to target his disciple, Sumei, who had the 1,000 yin body. When this is over, I must refine a treasure to conceal Sumei's aura so that she won't be targeted like a walking cornucopia. This was Lin Fei's negligence. Fortunately, it wasn't too late, and he could still make up for it. Ding dong! Lin Fei received a photo on his phone. It really is Kaishan. It was a photo of his face. I really don't know if you're lucky or unlucky. You actually targeted my disciple out of all people. Even though Lin Fei was certain in his heart, he couldn't help but shake his head when he saw the photo. This Kaishan is really unlucky. Lin Fei laughed coldly. Then you can only count yourself unlucky. Of all people, you actually targeted my disciple. 2K Reading Network. Chapter 4012. At the base of the Yan Huang battle team. Taijan was stunned when he received the news. He had no idea what Lin Fei was planning to do. Hurry up and find out where Lin Fei is right now. Is he still in Splendor Resort Villa? Taijan had always been very concerned about Lin Fei's whereabouts. After all, in the Donghai, only Lin Fei and Lai Tian from the Lai family could fight against Kaishan. As for the others, they were no match for them at all. He loved and hated Lin Fei at the same time. He loved Lin Fei's means and the elixir in his hands, which could actually enhance the strength of a plain strength warrior. He hated that this guy seemed to be very good at causing trouble. If it was possible, Taijan really did not want Lin Fei to stay in the Donghai. A troublemaker, like him, should go as far away as possible. Not long after, Lin Ro walked in with a document in her hand. Director, we just arranged for someone to investigate. Lin Fei ended his vacation and just returned to the Donghai. Did Lin Fei cause trouble again? Lin Ro was also very concerned about Lin Fei's whereabouts, especially when the director asked about it at this time. It was definitely not a small matter. Lin Ro was very clear about this. This Lin Fei could never be looked at with ordinary eyes. I knew it. This guy is definitely not in the resort villa. Taijan's face was full of disappointment. I knew he was up to no good the moment he came back. Can you confirm the specific location? It should be possible. I just looked around. It seems to be near a community. Lin Ro looked and said. Taijan suddenly stood up and laughed. Is it the community where Sumei lives? Hurry up and take a look. Lin Ro nodded. How do you know, Director? Taijan laughed. Then God is really helping me. It must be Kaishan who has his eyes on Lin Fei's disciple. Chief, are you talking about that Su Mei? Lin Ro came back to her senses. Yes, it must be Su Mei. Kaishan is the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia. I don't know why he has his eyes on Su Mei, but Su Mei is Lin Fei's disciple. As I said, why would Lin Fei ask about Kaishan's photo when he just came back from the holiday villa? There must be something going on. I didn't expect Kaishan to offend Lin Fei first. Chief, you said that Kaishan isn't Lin Fei's match? Lin Ro asked curiously. What's Kaishan? He's said to be the best black magic master in Southeast Asia, but only his black magic arts are more powerful. However, very few people can master it. Although this Kaishan is a black magic master, I can guarantee that he definitely hasn't mastered the black magic arts. Therefore, if he really fights against Lin Fei, he has no chance of winning. I can guarantee that, Taijan said with a smile. Then, do you want to arrange for people to keep an eye on him? Taijan shook his head. There's no need to. Anyway, with Lin Fei taking action, our problem can be solved. Kaishan could have offended anyone, but he chose to offend Lin Fei. He even had his eyes on his disciple. He's definitely asking for trouble. Let's just wait for the good results. Taijan was also happy for once. After all, because of Kaishan's matter, everyone knew. As the Yan Huang battle team, they could only arrange for people to keep an eye on him every day, but they couldn't do anything. This made them very unhappy, but now it seemed like they could let go of this matter. Once this Lin Fei took action, anything could be easily solved. Kaishan, who was sitting in the small restaurant, had no idea that he was being watched. He was controlling his monster to move back and forth in Su Mei's room. Under close observation, Kaishan was already very sure that the other party had the myriad Yin body. It was the real deal, and he was not deceiving anyone. Kaishan's mood was good, and he ate a few more bowls of rice. He had never felt that the food in a small restaurant could be so delicious. This was the first time he had encountered such a thing. What he had to do now was to wait until nightfall. Kaishan had never felt that waiting was so long. Every minute and second felt like a year. Finally, the sky darkened. Kaishan had originally planned to sit in the small restaurant until midnight, but the small restaurant closed at 11. Kaishan had no choice but to walk out of the small restaurant and sat down by a nearby wall. He didn't care if he was polite or not. After all, he looked like an old man from the countryside. There were many old men like him, and Kaishan didn't have to worry that he would be too ostentatious. Finally, it was past midnight, and a little later it was 2 in the morning. The road was very quiet and very few people appeared. Only a taxi would occasionally appear, but to Kaishan, this was really nothing. Finally, it's time. Kaishan decided to take action. He felt that he couldn't bear it anymore. If he continued to bear it, he would go crazy. This 10,000 yin body was like a piece of fat meat, and he could take a few bites if he wanted to. Kaishan walked into the small district as if there was no one around. The security guards of the small district acted as if they didn't see Kaishan and let him walk in. It turned out that when Kaishan went over, he used his mental strength to hypnotize these people. As a powerful tame headmaster, mental strength was indispensable. After Kaishan walked into the small district, a figure walked over unhurriedly. Finally, can't hold it in anymore? You could have lived if you didn't do anything, but since that's the case, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Fei had been staring at Kaishan the whole time. However, Kaishan couldn't detect Lin Fei's methods, and he didn't know that Lin Fei had been staring at him. From the moment Kaishan walked into the small district, Lin Fei had decided Kaishan's fate. This guy was courting death. After Kaishan came to the bottom of the small district, he didn't walk up the stairs again. This was because these small district buildings had access control, but this wasn't a difficult thing for Kaishan. After about 10 minutes, the access control suddenly opened, and a figure walked out. It was none other than Su Mei. At this moment, Su Mei was wearing pajamas, as if she was sleepwalking. What a good method of controlling things. Lin Fei saw everything clearly from behind. This method of controlling things was a demon controlling Su Mei, and Su Mei could walk out of the small district like she was dreaming. It was indeed a brilliant method. Those who didn't know would never be able to guess that Su Mei was being controlled. Originally, I wanted to deal with you in this small district, but since you brought my disciple out, I'll deal with you outside. Lin Fei also realized that it was impossible for Kaishan to deal with his disciple elsewhere and in the small district. This was also an opportunity for Lin Fei. Chapter 40:13. Kaishan was in a very good mood. He finally managed to control the person with the 10,000 yin body. Don't think that just because Kaishan was a tame headmaster, he wasn't smart. In fact, he was very smart. He knew that it wouldn't be easy to take someone away at this time. However, if Su Mei walked out by herself, the situation would be different. Kaishan turned around and left after Su Mei came down. Because he had placed a demonic creature on Su Mei's body to control her, Su Mei would follow him. Walking out of the neighborhood, the security guards of these neighborhoods didn't notice it at all. It was as if no one had left this place. After Su Mei came out of the neighborhood, she stopped a taxi. The taxi driver was a little confused at first, but in the blink of an eye, his eyes changed because he was also controlled by Kaishan. After Su Mei got in the car, Kaishan also sat in the front passenger seat. Everything went smoothly. In the eyes of outsiders, no one saw anyone get in the car at all. This was a type of tame head technique. It could also be said to be a very useless tame head technique. It was called Ghost's Eye. Within a certain range, no activity could be seen. Even if someone walked in front of you, you wouldn't be able to see them. This was Kaishan's method. Although it was a useless tame head technique, the effect was very good for Kaishan. Lin Fei leisurely followed behind the taxi. No matter how fast the taxi drove, it was nothing in Lin Fei's eyes. After all, if he ran at full speed, his speed would be very terrifying. Even if the taxi ran at full speed, it wouldn't be able to catch up with him. Therefore, Lin Fei was very relaxed. The taxi drove all the way to the outskirts of Donghai. It went all the way to the seaside, where there were reeds, before stopping. This place was considered a no-man's land. No one would appear at all. Su Mei and Kaishan got out of the car one after another. The taxi driver drove all the way back to Donghai before coming back to his senses. He couldn't even remember where he had been before. He cursed a few times before leaving. They came to the depths of the reeds. Only then did Su Mei stop. Even now, Su Mei didn't notice anything. She always had a sleepy look on her face. If someone was outside at this time, then they would definitely be shocked, especially in the middle of the night. It was indeed easy to scare people. Kaishan looked at Su Mei from head to toe, his eyes filled with excitement and joy. The 10,000 yin body. This old man actually has the chance to obtain the 10,000 yin body. As long as I absorb the bloodline of the 10,000 yin body, this old man's strength will rise to another level. However, absorbing the bloodline alone is too weak. This old man must truly activate the bloodline of the 10,000 yin body in order to enjoy the true effects of the bloodline. Others might not know the uses of the 10,000 yin body, but it just so happened that Kaishan had read about it in an ancient book and had kept it in mind. He thought that it would be impossible for him to encounter a 10,000 yin body in his lifetime, but he never thought that he would actually meet him in a place like Huaxia. It was really too coincidental. Although Su Mei's 10,000 yin body seemed to have a mental imprint on it, Kaishan never took it to heart. He thought that she had something hanging on her body, so this bit of mental imprint was nothing to him. Even for a martial artist, it was impossible to leave such a heavy mental imprint on an ordinary person. Kaishan understood this very well. For a moment, Kaishan wanted to bring Su Mei away from Huaxia and return to his own Southeast Asia. But this time, the momentum that he had painstakingly built up would go down the drain, which was very troublesome for Kaishan. Therefore, Kaishan felt that he had to first defeat Lai Tian and then kill that Lin Fei. Kai Shan knew that once he killed Lin Fei, the person who was secretly adding fuel to the fire would definitely thank him. Moreover, the person who could create such a momentum in such a short period of time was definitely someone with great power. This was also someone that Kai Shan was willing to befriend. This was because it would bring great benefits to Kai Shan. No matter what your name is, I will let you live for a period of time first. During this period of time, you will obediently follow this old man. Kai Shan was not in a hurry to act, but he did not intend to let Su Mei go either. Who knew what would happen? Hua Xiao was so big. How could he not search from place to place? Even if he had planted a secret technique on her, once she left the East Sea, he would not be able to detect her. The East Sea was said to be huge, and as long as they were a distance away from each other, Kai Shan would not be able to grasp her true location. Therefore, Kai Shan decided to plant something on Kai Shan's body first. This was the only way he could completely control Kai Shan and not even have to worry about being suspected. Kai Shan had also thought of a plan. When the time came, if someone really asked, he would say that Kai Shan was his disciple. Of course, this was Kai Shan's plan to deal with the Yan Huang battle team. He knew that he had been constantly being watched by the Yan Huang battle team. If someone suddenly appeared by his side, they would naturally suspect him. Therefore, Kai Shan needed a perfect reason. Accepting a disciple was the most suitable reason. Let me plant a demonic seed on you. Kai Shan took out a box. It was a small red box, about the size of a fist. After opening it, a flying snake appeared. This flying snake was almost the size of an earthworm, and its entire body was green. Even in the night, it was like a ball of fluorescent light and was very eye-catching. This snake was called the ghost snake. Kai Shan had spent a lot of effort to cultivate it, and it took him a whole 10 years. Under normal circumstances, Kai Shan would rarely use this ghost snake, because he felt that there was no need. But now it was different. Only by using the ghost snake could he completely control Su Mei. A mere ghost snake was not worth Kai Shan's heartache. Compared to the rewards, it was simply too great. It was something that could not be compared. Old man, in the middle of the night, are you bullying a weak little girl? Just as Kai Shan was about to make his move, a voice rang out from the gourd thicket without warning. Kai Shan's expression changed slightly. In an instant, his hand flicked out a black shadow. This black shadow was a black centipede. It was extremely venomous, and anyone who came into contact with it would definitely die. Using it to deal with ordinary people or martial artists was a piece of cake. Who dared to disturb Kai Shan at this time? Who knew if he was some kind of savior? But in Kai Shan's eyes, since he dared to speak, then he must be prepared to die. After the centipede was flicked out, it instantly landed in the reeds, and there was no more sound. Kai Shan could not help but laugh. But halfway through his laughter, another voice came from the reeds. This centipede of yours is not bad. It's big and fat. Looks like it's quite suitable for brewing medicinal wine. The effects should be great. I won't stand on ceremony. Mobile version of the fastest updated website. Chapter 4014. Kai Shan was so angry that he almost vomited blood. That was the hypertoxic centipede that he had painstakingly cultivated. Under normal circumstances, as long as the hypertoxic centipede was used, it would be easy to deal with people. Furthermore, in the Eastern Sea, where would there be any expert cultivators in the middle of the night? One hypertoxic centipede would be enough to deal with the other party. He did not expect the other party to describe his hypertoxic centipede as an ordinary centipede. This was unforgivable. Brew medicinal wine? How dare you say that? Swoosh! Swoosh! Kai Shan flicked his fingers again. Under the cover of the night, the 6 hypertoxic centipedes rushed into the reeds in the blink of an eye. On this trip to the East Sea, Kai Shan had brought a lot of poisonous creatures. Others might not know where the poisonous creatures were hidden, but Kai Shan's entire body was covered in poisonous creatures. Even machines could not detect him. This was the power of a tame headmaster. After releasing the 6 hypertoxic centipedes, Kaishan felt that the other party would not be able to withstand the attack of his hypertoxic centipedes. After all, these 6 hypertoxic centipedes would form a team once released. They could even easily hunt down obvious strength and inward strength martial artists. This was something that Kaishan had always been proud of. He did not believe that the person hiding in the reeds could withstand the attack of the hypertoxic centipedes. However, after the 6 hypertoxic centipedes rushed into the reeds, there was no movement at all. It was like a stone sinking into the sea. Kaishan did not even hear the sound of fighting. It was as if nothing had happened. This made Kaishan's face darken. At this moment, a voice came from the reeds again. "Old man, your cooking skills are pretty good. 6 big centipedes. I think we'll have our supper tonight. Just for these 6 big centipedes. Fry them and sprinkle some cumin powder on them. They should taste pretty good. At the very least, they'll be very nutritious." When Kaishan heard this, he flew into a rage. "I don't believe that I can't take care of you." Kaishan had never lost his composure like this before. If it was any other time, it would have been fine. However, this involved the 10,000 body. Kaishan could not allow any mistakes. Swoosh, 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 swoosh. Kaishan's body trembled. A terrifying scene had actually occurred. If there were any outsiders present, they would definitely be shocked out of their wits, because poisonous creatures were constantly burrowing out of Kaishan's body. These poisonous creatures were innumerable and densely packed, causing one's scalp to go numb. There were at least a few hundred or a few thousand venomous creatures. They actually came out of Kaishan's body and rushed into the reeds. Wherever these poisonous creatures passed, the reeds would fall and even corrode, turning into an empty space. This was spreading at a speed visible to the naked eye, and it was extremely terrifying. Kaishan was truly enraged. He actually dared to destroy his 7 venomous centipedes. They had been cultivated for 2 to 3 years, and he had spent a lot of effort on them. This was not something that could be forgiven. Therefore, no matter who this person was, Kaishan was going to kill him. Moreover, he was going to let him experience the pain of being bitten by 1,000 bugs. Kaishan was a ruthless person. These released poisonous creatures accounted for more than half of what Kaishan had brought. However, as these poisonous creatures continued to surge forward, the screams that Kaishan wanted to hear didn't appear. Everything was calm. "Good fella, this frog is really big. And this poisonous snake, I can bring it back to make soup. Old man, you're really a good person. It's really rare to see a good person like you these days." Not long after, a voice came from the reeds again. The voice was loud and clear, and it didn't sound like he was injured at all. "Who are you? Stop putting on an act. Come out if you have the guts." Kaishan frowned, and his eyes were filled with killing intent. He knew that he had met his match today. To be able to neutralize his poisonous attacks so easily wasn't something that just anyone could do. "After taking so many of your nourishing items, it would be inexcusable if I don't come out and meet you." From the reeds, a figure walked out unhurriedly. Kaishan saw a young man walk out. This young man was extremely young, and he looked more like an ordinary person. In fact, he didn't even have a strong aura around him. He was basically just like an ordinary person. This young man walked out, and he was carrying many poisonous creatures in his hands. However, it was this person who could cause his poisonous creatures to suffer great losses. What was going on? "Stinking brat, stop putting on an act. Go to hell." If it was a real expert, Kaishan might not have been so angry. However, this was a young man, and even he couldn't tell what was going on. Kaishan couldn't take this lying down. He stepped forward, opened his mouth, and spat out a large cloud of black fog at the young man. It looked like a black fog, but in reality, it was a swarm of poisonous magic mosquitoes. Every magic mosquito was the size of a fly, and they had a terrifying aura. They shrouded the young man, and at the same time, they kept buzzing, which turned into a sound wave attack. Lin Fei was also impressed by Kai Shan. A tame headmaster is indeed a tame headmaster. He actually has so many poisonous creatures with him. Putting everything else aside, there were at least thousands of poisonous creatures in the large swarm just now. The scene was indeed terrifying. There were all kinds of poisonous creatures, and they were extremely poisonous. When all kinds of poisonous creatures were mixed together, they formed a deadly poison. It was truly terrifying. If one touched it, one would definitely die. There was no cure. You could have played with anything, but you chose to play with mosquitoes. You're really useless. Lin Fei laughed. Accompanied by his laughter, the magic mosquitoes that flew over exploded one after another. In an instant, they disappeared completely. What other tricks do you have? Show me how powerful you, the #1 tame headmaster in Southeast Asia, are. My magic mosquitoes. At this moment, Kai Shan almost vomited blood. He had spent 5 years to cultivate them, and there were only a few thousand magic mosquitoes in total. Now, they were all gone in the blink of an eye. You actually know me. Who are you? Kai Shan had never taken people of the younger generation seriously. There was no one in the entire East Sea that he was afraid of. But now, an unknown brat had actually destroyed wave after wave of his demonic creatures. Now, even his precious magic mosquitoes had been completely wiped out. Kai Shan felt that his blood pressure was about to rise. What Kai Shan could not accept the most was that this guy actually knew his identity. That was extraordinary. While no one was paying attention to him, Kai Shan had set up another secret move while he was in a state of shock. Black shadows flew close to the ground and headed straight for Kai Shan. Even I don't know who you are. How dare you have been working in East Sea all this time? Lin Fei said with a smile. Suddenly, he stretched out his hand and flicked at a few positions. Clouds of bloody mist exploded one after another. Look, your poisonous creatures are dead again, aren't they? I guess you're very distressed this time. Uft, uft. Kai Shan took 3 steps back and vomited blood with each step. Chapter 40:15. Wave after wave of losses made Kai Shan, the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia, feel his heart bleeding. Especially after the death of the dark shadow snake, this was one of his trump cards. He had just made a move, but he was easily annihilated by the other party. This directly caused him to suffer a backlash and retreat 3 steps. At the same time, he vomited 3 mouthfuls of blood and his face turned pale. Who are you? It's impossible for there to be an expert like you in the East Sea who can easily kill this old man's dark shadow snake. Kai Shan clutched his chest and his breathing quickened. The dark shadow snake had a great impact on Kai Shan. The dark shadow snake's forte was its speed. In the blink of an eye, it could leap dozens of meters away. There had never been a warrior who could withstand the attack of the dark shadow snake, and ordinary people were even less qualified to make Kai Shan release the dark shadow snake. But now it had been destroyed by this young man, and he had even killed all the few shadow snakes he had. These were the only shadow snakes that he had cultivated for 20 years. Kai Shan's eyes were about to turn black after suffering such a huge loss in the East Sea. I told you not to play such tricks, but you didn't listen. Are you happy now? Lin Fei laughed. Since you want to know my name, it's fine. You've lost so much anyway. If I don't tell you my name and you die of anger, you won't know who you are when you reach Yanhuang Road. How sad would that be? Listen, my name is Lin Fei, and I'm the one who opened the Longting Manor. Are you happy now? I also know that you're preparing to challenge me, but you haven't even seen me before. You're the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia, but your standards are a little too low. I really wonder how you became the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia. Your eyesight is really bad. Pft, pft. Another 2 sounds. Kai Shan also took 2 steps back, followed by 2 mouthfuls of blood. His pupils constricted, and he pointed at Lin Fei with a trembling finger. You're Lin Fei. Impossible. You're just the #1 expert in the East Sea that was promoted by others. How can you be so strong? Lin Fei's name completely overturned Kai Shan's impression of him. Although Lin Fei was now known as the strongest in Donghai, everyone knew that 8 grandmasters had died in Longton Villa. Kai Shan did not really acknowledge Lin Fei's strength. Hence, he had placed his true focus on Lai Tian from the Lai family. But now, Lin Fei hadn't even done anything, but he had already made him suffer heavy losses. At the very least, it would take him more than 10 years to recover, and it might even take a few more years. Right now, Lin Fei was like a terrifying existence. There was not a single trace of qi on his body. One could tell that even Kai Shan was afraid of his strength. Look, you're vomiting blood again, right? It's just 2 names. What's the big deal? Lin Fei laughed. Do you know why I came to you? Kai Shan did not know that Lin Fei would come to him, especially in the middle of the night. It seemed like he had been following him. Kai Shan, who thought that he was good at trailing others, did not expect that he would be followed one day. Lin Fei, since you've taken the initiative to jump out, I'll fulfill your wish. You dared to ruin my plans and cause me heavy losses. If I don't kill you, I won't be able to swallow the anger in my heart. Kai Shan wiped the blood from the corner of his mouth and dashed over in a few steps. He attacked with his elbow, aiming for Lin Fei's face. As the number 1 tame headmaster, Kai Shan was not only good at tame head, but he was also good at close combat. His fists, legs, and joints were all weapons. When Kai Shan attacked, his entire body was filled with a black fog, accompanied by an unbearably pungent smell. If it was someone else, the smell alone would have made them dizzy, and their movement speed would have slowed down significantly. Old man, you have too many poisonous creatures on you. Let me help you clean them up. Of all the things you could have kept, you chose to keep poisonous creatures. Old man, your way of thinking is not good. Lin Fei laughed. With a thought, his qi and blood began to rumble. In an instant, it turned into a huge blazing sun, radiating across the small area. Kai Shan was the first to bear the brunt of the attack. White smoke rose from his body. Aha! This is too unbearable. My poisonous creatures. Kai Shan's body was originally emitting a cold and terrifying aura. But in front of this blazing sun, his body was trembling nonstop. White smoke rose from his body, instantly enveloping his entire body. What is this? Why are all my poisonous creatures dead? Kai Shan struggled to get out. His entire body seemed to have been fished out of water. His aura had also become extremely weak, and his mind was unsettled. Kai Shan could not believe that in such a short period of time, all the poisonous creatures he had reared had died. At this moment, there was no longer a single poisonous creature on Kai Shan's body. His entire body was clean, and he no longer had that cold and sinister aura. However, what followed was his age. In an instant, he looked as though he had aged 20 or 30 years. The current Kai Shan looked like an 80 or 90-year-old man, as though he could collapse at any moment. No one has ever been able to kill off my poisonous creatures. Yet, you managed to kill all of them. In this life of mine, I will kill you. Kai Shan enunciated every single word. His eyes were filled with endless hatred. Now, I'll let you have a taste of my flying corpse skill. Under his enraged roar, Kai Shan displayed his unparalleled technique. Then a shocking scene appeared. The head of the old Kai Shan fell off. With a swoosh, it flew towards Lin Fei. As it flew, it let out a sharp caw-caw-caw-caw-caw sound, causing one scalp to go numb. Is this the real flying corpse taming skill? It's a little terrifying. Lin Fei shook his head with a smile. He extended his hand, and a reed flew over. With a light flick, it flew over with a swoosh. At this moment, Kai Shan, who was using the flying corpse taming skill, possessed invincible strength. However, when the reed flew over, it nailed his head to the ground with a swoosh. Kai Shan didn't even have time to react. What's wrong with me? Rolling his eyes, he saw a foot appear and step heavily on Kai Shan's head. Half of his head was buried in the ground. Of all the things you could have played, why did you have to use such a terrifying technique? Do you think your head is very hard? Lin Fei, you can't kill me. Today I'll fight you to the death. If I don't kill you, I'm not Kai Shan. Kai Shan roared angrily. A terrifying strength exploded from his head. Your strength is not bad. However, you want to kill me with this strength? You're thinking too much. I'm even more terrifying than you. A loud rumbling sound was heard. An extremely terrifying force exploded on Kai Shan's head. Remember the website of the mobile version. Chapter 2227 Dawn, T Scare People at Night. P1/1. Bookmark for easier reading. Chapter 4016. The power of the kick immediately made Kai Shan dizzy. Waves of pain pierced through his body, wave after wave. The situation was completely different from what Kai Shan had imagined. He had used the flying corpse tame technique, which was the most powerful killer move among the tame techniques. Once the flying corpse tame technique was used, he would be almost invincible. No one could kill him, and he wouldn't even feel any pain. But now he actually felt pain. The pain was magnified infinitely in an instant. It hurts! It hurts! Stop! Stop! Kai Shan could not help but yell. His entire face turned ferocious. At the same time, he pushed the power of the flying corpse tame technique in an attempt to break free from under Lin Fei's foot. But no matter how hard he tried, his opponent's foot was firmly on his head. He did not budge at all. You want me to stop, so I stop? Who do you think you are? He spat out his power again. With a loud rumble, he crushed Kai Shan's head. This time, it was not only Kai Shan's head that had a problem. Even his body was affected to a certain extent. It was actually trembling. Doesn't this feel good? Do you think that your flying corpse taming technique is very powerful and awesome? That your head is impervious to swords and spears, fire and water, and can be said to be invincible? I just don't know if you can continue to live after your body is destroyed. Lin Fei laughed. I think you definitely won't live to see tomorrow's sun. Once the sun comes out tomorrow, I think your head will turn to ash. What #1 expert in Southeast Asia will be nothing but a joke? The seemingly powerful flying corpse tame technique was basically trash in Lin Fei's eyes. It could not withstand a single blow. This technique could be said to be evil, but it was even more inferior than evil. It looked powerful, but in reality it was useless. How did you know? As Kai Shan struggled, he roared when he heard the voice. A trace of fear and unease flashed in his eyes. This was the biggest secret of the flying corpse tame technique. Although his head looked invincible, even those in the light realm or the dark realm, or even those in the Grand Master realm, would not be able to withstand his attack. Especially at night, his strength would be amplified. Kai Shan had once killed a Grand Master late-stage expert with this move and had always been proud of it. Under normal circumstances, Kai Shan would not use the flying corpse tame technique because it would consume too much energy. But once he used it, his opponent would definitely die. However, the current situation was really hard for Kai Shan to accept. This was the flying corpse tame technique. It was the most powerful tame technique. To think that he couldn't do anything to the other party. Instead, the other party easily stepped on his face, and the infinitely magnified pain kept assaulting him. This kind of pain made Kai Shan wish he was dead, and he wished he could die immediately. To be able to become a tame headmaster who didn't experience pain. Kai Shan had experienced more pain than anyone else, but at this moment he was unable to endure it. He could only feel his opponent's power surging towards him endlessly, stretching out the pain endlessly and incessantly stimulating him. Anyone can tell that it's just a child's play. Lin Fei laughed. In fact, I don't even need to wait for the sun to rise tomorrow. I only need to blow your body apart with a single punch, and your head won't be able to continue living. It's not like you've cultivated an immortal body. Kai Shan spat out a mouthful of blood. If he could cultivate an undying body, would he still be in such a sorry state? Come at me if you can. Lin Fei, you win, and I lose. From now on, I will never come to the East Sea again, nor will I cause trouble for you. As long as you, Lin Fei, appear, I will stay away. Is that okay? In the current situation, Kai Shan could only lower his head. If he didn't, he might really die in the East Sea. Lin Fei laughed and shook his head. Looks like you still don't understand why I'm here. I think you should think about it carefully and tell me when you've figured it out. Kai Shan still felt strange. He hadn't found Lin Fei, but the latter had taken the initiative to follow him. This made Kai Shan puzzled, but now that he heard these words, he felt that something was wrong. Suddenly, Kai Shan saw a figure. At this moment, he finally understood what was going on. Could it be the 10,000 yin body? Other than this reason, Kai Shan couldn't think of a second reason. I think you should understand now. Not everything is yours. Lin Fei said, do you know who she is? She's my big disciple and big senior sister. Even though we haven't held the apprenticeship ceremony, do you think a Southeast Asia's top tame technique master can touch my big disciple? Kai Shan's mind went blank. Now he finally understood what was going on. It turned out that he had followed Lin Fei's big disciple. No wonder she had a spiritual imprint on her body. At first, Kai Shan didn't care about it, but now that he thought about it, he broke out in cold sweat. Don't think that everyone has the same thoughts as you. Although the 10,000 yin body isn't bad, it's nothing in my eyes. Only evil people like you would care about it. Lin Fei said faintly, Su Mei is my big disciple. You know what that means. You could have targeted anyone but my big disciple. You've got guts. Do you think it's better if I beat your body up now? Or... Lin Fei smiled and casually slapped Kai Shan's body. This palm strike caused Kai Shan to scream out loud. Don't hit me, don't hit me. I admit defeat. This slap almost broke the connection between Kai Shan and his body. Don't think that once the flying corpse taming art was used, there was still a connection between the body and the body. This slap almost took Kai Shan's life. He was so scared that his face turned pale. Kai Shan finally understood why 7 or 8 grandmasters suffered such a big setback at Longting Mountain Villa. The person in front of him might be a god-rank expert. Only a god-rank powerhouse could easily suppress him. He really kicked a big iron plate. Moreover, it was a super hard iron plate. A god-rank expert. He hadn't appeared for decades. Kai Shan had only heard of the God Realm experts from a few decades ago, but he had never seen one in person. But now he finally saw the power of a God rank expert. He was suppressed to the point where he couldn't move with just one kick. What pained Kai Shan the most was that he actually offended a God rank expert. I'm willing to make amends. I only ask that you spare my life. Shikju website, Chapter 4017. Right now, Kai Shan was completely terrified out of his wits. It could be said that even the depths of his bones exuded fear and uneasiness. Even though Lin Fei was just an ordinary young man, even inconspicuous in the crowd, such a person could easily decide his life and death. A deity realm expert. How many years had it been since a god realm expert had appeared? Kai Shan would not dare to be presumptuous even if he had 100 guts. Back then, it was not that there were no divine-level experts in Southeast Asia. However, they had all been wiped out by the divine-level experts from Huaxia. Otherwise, Kai Shan would not have had the chance to jump out. As the saying went, when the tiger was no longer on the mountain, the monkey would proclaim itself as the king. You've already touched my disciple. Do you think I'll let you off? Lin Fei smiled faintly. I only need a little bit of strength to kill you. What's Southeast Asia's #1 expert? He's just a joke in my eyes. Sir, don't kill me. Don't kill me. I'm still of some use. I am willing to help you lure out the person who's secretly adding fuel to the fire and kill them in return. Kai Shan begged. I'm willing to be Sir's lackey. I'll fight wherever you point me to. No one will suspect the relationship between me and Sir. You're quite smart. You even know how to draw inferences. Lin Fei naturally knew who was secretly adding fuel to the fire. For a tame headmaster like Kai Shan, he was actually quite useful. After all, this guy had some tricks up his sleeves. His overall strength was much stronger than Yu Zishan's. He could even fight against 2 grandmasters alone without much pressure. Most importantly, Kai Shan was the #1 taming master in Southeast Asia. Lin Fei was not interested in this. However, Southeast Asia was a mountainous region that produced all sorts of rich resources. Lin Fei was interested in that. One must know that Lin Fei had taken in Su Mei as his disciple. As a master, he had to obtain some resources to groom this disciple. After returning from the alternate world, all of Lin Fei's storage rings had been shattered. Not a single one was left. It could be said that he had no resources. However, if Kai Shan, the #1 expert in Southeast Asia, was there to help gather all kinds of resources, it would save him a lot of trouble. This was also the reason why Lin Fei did not stomp Kai Shan to death. Master, as long as you spare this old man will do anything, no matter how small or big it is. Furthermore, this old man has a lot of influence in Southeast Asia. As long as you say the word, this old man will do anything for you. Kai Shan did not care so much anymore. As long as he could survive, then everything was fine. Lin Fei looked at Kai Shan in the ground. You should be glad that you haven't done anything to my eldest disciple. Otherwise, you wouldn't have so much time to talk here. He raised his hand and instantly sent a mental imprint drawing of runes into Kai Shan's mind. This is a special imprint I gave you. You can experience it. Lin Fei smiled and controlled the spiritual imprint. Kai Shan's head, as well as his body not far away, began to tremble to varying degrees. The pain was magnified once again, reaching 100-fold. Master, it's too painful. This old man really can't take it anymore. It's too painful. Lin Fei stepped on Tai Shan's head. Otherwise, Kai Shan would have been rolling on the ground. Not far away, his body had already rolled on the ground for God knows how many times. His body exploded with wounds and blood flowed out. Kai Shan had no doubt that if this continued, even if the other party did not kill him, just the blood loss alone would cause him to dry up and die. This terrifying pain was like a nightmare. Kai Shan had lived for so long, and this was the first time he experienced pain. The pain reached every inch of his bones. Even his flesh and cells were in intense pain. However, in the face of this pain, Kai Shan was powerless and could only endure it passively. It had only been a few seconds, but Kai Shan was already unable to endure it. This was practically taking Kai Shan's life away. It was truly a life worse than death. How is it? Does it feel good? Lin Fei snapped his fingers. Kai Shan, who was originally trembling, finally stopped. His entire face revealed an expression of having survived a calamity. Master, this old man is convinced. This old man really is convinced. In the future, this old man will not dare to disobey Master's orders. This old man is willing to be your lackey for life. Lin Fei casually kicked Kai Shan's head, sending it flying. Now go back and sing this show well. If you are satisfied with it, you will suffer less. Otherwise, every 1st and 15th day of the year, you will experience this intense pain. Lin Fei took care of Kai Shan like it was a game. He no longer looked at Kai Shan. He came to Su Mei's side and shook his head lightly. Fortunately, you didn't wake up. Otherwise, it would be hard to explain. Lin Fei reached out and hugged Su Mei. He turned around and left like a gust of wind, not leaving any traces behind. After Lin Fei left, Kai Shan once again returned to his body. However, his body was covered in wounds of various sizes. The aftereffects of the pain constantly told Kai Shan that this was not a dream. He was really walking on the edge of life and death just now. Kai-shan was even more clear that not harming this girl was his only chance of survival. Kai-shan already regretted coming to China. It was said that China was filled with crouching tigers and hidden dragons. He had never believed it, even when there were many God realm experts. Kai-shan was not afraid of China. However, this time, Kai-shan had truly suffered a huge setback. This setback made it impossible for him to make a comeback for the rest of his life. As for getting rid of the spiritual imprint in his mind, it was simply impossible. In front of this spiritual imprint, his spiritual energy was like a child compared to an adult. Just the pressure alone was enough to make him unable to move. Kai-shan let out a long sigh and walked out of the reeds. He no longer had the high spirits he had before. If it wasn't for the scene that happened in the reeds, who would have thought that the #1 black magic master in Southeast Asia, Kai-shan, would have suffered such a huge loss? He didn't even have the freedom to live. Lin Fei hugged Sume. His powerful spiritual energy spread out and formed a special area. Everywhere he passed, whether it was electronic devices or pedestrians, they couldn't see Lin Fei running at full speed. After sending Sume back to her room and clearing those demonic creatures, Lin Fei smiled and left. Before he left a powerful spiritual imprint on Sume's body, instantly sealing the power of his bloodline. At this moment, Sume could be considered as a real, ordinary girl. Unless one was stronger than Lin Fei, they wouldn't be able to see through her. Bookseller's website. Chapter 4018. You're saying that nothing happened? In the Yan Huang battle team's base, after Taizhan received the news, the tea in his cup spilled out quite a bit. That doesn't make sense. Lin Fei isn't easy to deal with. Since he asked for Caishan's photo, he must have some plans for Kai-shan. Moreover, both of them seem to be in that area. It's impossible that nothing happened. Taizhan was more concerned about this than anyone else. However, after hearing the news, he felt a little uncomfortable. Indeed, nothing happened. I suspect that the two of them must have exchanged blows. It's hard to guess who won. Lin Ro guessed. Our people found that Kai-shan looked a little disheveled, but he didn't look like he was injured. As for that Lin Fei, our people lost track of him. Taizhan wasn't surprised that they lost track of him. If Lin Fei was so easy to follow, then he wouldn't be Lin Fei. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to find any information until now. He was like a mystery. Then continued to arrange for people to keep an eye on Kai-shan, especially that Sume, Taizhan said after thinking for a while. East Sea Airport. A private plane glided down. A group of people alighted from the cabin. The leader was a middle-aged man with a dignified expression. As he walked with a majestic gait. Other than that, there was another person in a Taoist robe. He had a sage-like demeanor, and his aura wasn't inferior to the middle-aged man beside him. Behind them was a young man with a gloomy expression. In the departure lounge of the terminal not far away, a few martial artists were taking videos with their phones when they suddenly saw the black Rolls-Royce. As the few of them got off the plane, they were immediately taken aback. One of them exclaimed, "Isn't that Shen Tianquan, the head of the Shen family in the south?" The martial artist was shocked. The martial artist beside him also gasped. Yes, he's Shen Tianquan. And isn't the one beside him his son, Shinwudi? And that sage-like guy, I remember that he's called Long Tianqing. His status seems to be much higher than Longting Villa's Yuzishan. Is something big going to happen in our East Sea? Several martial artists immediately took a video of the fight. One must know that the people from the 3 great clans of the south rarely came to the Eastern Sea, especially the leader of the Shin clan, Shin Tianquan. No one was a fool. They immediately realized that something bad was going to happen. The group got into the Rolls-Royce Phantom, and the convoy slowly left the airport. After they left the airport, they attracted a lot of people's cameras. This was a fleet that was worth hundreds of millions. Kai-shan, the #1 tame headmaster in Southeast Asia, has already swept through most of the dojos in Donghai. If there are no surprises, he will probably challenge the Lai family. However, Lai Tian is not in the family, so Kaishan may directly skip the Lai family and look for Lin Fei. A disciple of the Xin family was reporting. Moreover, we also received news that Lin Fei of Longting Villa is going to hold a disciple acceptance ceremony in the next few days. It should be in the next few days. According to our analysis, Kaishan will probably go to Longting Villa on the day of the apprenticeship ceremony to look for Lin Fei. That day is also the most suitable day. Xin Wudi's expression brightened, and he said sinisterly, "Father, we came at the right time. If Kaishan goes to Longting Villa to meet Lin Fei first, regardless of the outcome, Lin Fei will more or less be injured. If we make a move, it'll be like the mantis stalking the cicada, unaware of the oriole behind. I don't think that Lin Fei can escape from our grasp. By then, not only will we be able to take down Lin Fei, but we'll also be able to take down Longting Villa. Then, our Shun family will be able to intervene in the Eastern Sea." The bad luck in Shun Wudi's body had been cleansed, and his complexion had recovered. However, the trauma in his heart was not so easy to recover from. Xin Wudi hated Lin Fei more than anyone else. He was now 100% sure that this matter was done by Lin Fei. This Lin Fei is quite interesting. How old is he? Masters in the Master Realm don't take in disciples so early. In that case, we can go and take a look. Long Tianqing laughed. Xin Tianquan nodded and said, "Then let's wait a few more days. Kai Shan's strength is quite good, especially since he has mastered the flying corpse tame technique. Even if it's not easy to use in the day, he's still very strong in close combat. Moreover, I've also received news that if Lin Fei really wants to hold a disciple banquet, not only will Kaishan come, but even the people from Medicine King Valley will also head to Longting Villa. That Lin Fei is ruthless to actually cripple the elixir fields of Gao Yishan and Wang Yuan. No matter what, they're from Medicine King Valley. They've always been proud and arrogant, so there's going to be a good show to watch." Long Tianqing smiled and congratulated, "Brother Xin, then I have to congratulate you. I guess you don't have to do anything. Longting Villa will jump into your hands by itself. Congratulations." In an inconspicuous villa in Donghai. Although this villa didn't look big, the price here was more than 100,000 yuan, which meant that this villa was at least tens of millions of yuan. It was truly low-key and luxurious. "The two of you are quite promising. Not only did you suffer a setback in a blessed enclave, but even your elixir fields were destroyed by someone. How can you still say that you're from Medicine King Valley?" On the sofa in the hall of the villa, two middle-aged men in their 50s were sitting there. Both of them were expressionless and cold. These two men were the elders of Medicine King Valley, and they had the strength of the middle and late Grand Master Realm. They could be considered great masters of Medicine King Valley. This time they heard that the matter had become serious, and it involved the face of Medicine King Valley, so they came in person. Wang Yuan and Gao Yishan were kneeling on the ground. The two were now ordinary people, and they had aged a lot, which was completely different from before. At this time the two were crying, "Elders, we know we're wrong, but that Lin Fei is too arrogant and domineering. He knows that we're from Medicine King Valley, but he still dared to cripple our elixir fields. Elders, you have to avenge us." The two of them knelt on the ground and cried like a child. It was heartbreaking to hear. The faces of the two elders also became livid. No matter what, these two people were from Medicine King Valley. Now that their elixir fields were destroyed, it was really a slap in the face of Medicine King Valley. Chapter 4019. After Wang Yuan and Gao Yishan's elixir fields were destroyed, they did not leave the East Sea, but sent the news back to the Medicine King Valley. After suffering a loss at the hands of the Yan Huang battle team, they could only seek help from their own sect, the Medicine King Valley. In addition, they did not forget to secretly investigate Lin Fei, and actually found out some useful information. For example, that Lin Fei really had another elixir recipe, and it seemed to have a good effect. As for what elixir it was, they did not find out for the time being. However, The Yan Huang battle team seemed to have cooperated with Lin Fei and gained a lot of benefits. This also made them realize that this was an opportunity. Moreover, the Longting Villa was going to hold an auction, and there seemed to be elixirs among them. This was even more suspicious. What elixir recipes do we have in the Medicine King Valley? Could a mysterious kid have better elixir recipes than us? One of the taller elders sneered. Elder Chin, I can guarantee that the elixir recipes in Lin Fei's hands are definitely of good quality because the Yan Huang battle team has cooperated with them. It's just that we didn't find out the specific information, but I did find out that it should have something to do with improving strength. Although the Yan Huang battle team did a good job and kept it a secret, it's inevitable that some clues were left behind, Wang Yuan said forcefully. The Longting Villa is going to hold an auction, and there will be elixirs among them. The possibility of this matter is more than 90%, Gao Yishan added. At the mention of improving strength, the expressions of the two elders changed again. Any elixir was good, but the best one was elixir that could improve strength. However, elixirs in this aspect had always been a very difficult barrier to overcome. Until now, there were only a few elixirs that could improve strength. Otherwise, Invincible God's Bounty for level-breaking elixir would attract so many people, which was enough to prove that this type of elixir was very rare. Elder Qin and the other elder glanced at each other. Both of them believed Wang Yuan's words. Although Wang Yuan's status was not as high as theirs, he still had some status in the sect. Then, let's make a trip to the Soaring Dragon Manor. It's best if Lin Fei gives us face. If he doesn't, then we'll just take him away. I believe that Taizhan of the Yan Huang battle team won't dare to not give us face. Elder Chun laughed coldly. Wang Yuan said, Elder, we can actually wait a little longer. I've arranged for someone to inquire about the news. Lin Fei should be holding a disciple recruitment banquet in the near future to recruit a female disciple. I believe that Southeast Asia's top black magic master, Kaishan, will definitely be there on that day. We just need to make a move at the last moment. Wang Yuan had not been idle recently. He had been constantly asking around for information. With the small number of people left in the Medicine King Valley, he had managed to gather quite a lot of information easily. I know Kaishan. He's very powerful and has cultivated some powerful techniques. It's not a bad idea to let him be the vanguard. Arrange for someone to keep an eye on him. We'll go there when he goes to Longting Manor. Wang Yuan and Gao Yishan secretly heaved a sigh of relief. After all, they could count on the sect to stand up for them now. As long as they could make Lin Fei unhappy, they would be extremely happy. After cultivating hard for more than 10 to 20 years, losing all their strength in their lifetime, no one could stand such a thing. It was not easy for them to not have a complete mental breakdown. They were more eager than anyone else for Lin Fei to be punished by the sect. After Lin Fei settled the matter with Kaishan, he sent Su Mei back to the neighborhood, left a spiritual imprint, and returned to Longting Manor unhurriedly. He first went to the mountain to look at the spiritual energy seed, but the spiritual energy seed was still the same as before. It had not taken root. It was the same even if it was watered with spiritual water. If it were not for the spiritual energy seed that was still emitting spiritual energy, Lin Fei would have suspected that it was a fake spiritual energy seed. Otherwise, after absorbing so much spiritual water, it was impossible for it not to take root and germinate. However, until now, Lin Fei had not figured out why. Fortunately, Lin Fei was not in a hurry. Anyway, this thing was dispensable. If it wanted to take root and germinate, then so be it. If not, then so be it. Lin Fei did not care much. Boss, this is the best day for the apprentice banquet that I picked. It's in 6 days. It's considered a good and auspicious day. In the morning, Yu Zishan brought a list of the good days that he had picked. It was naturally impossible for Lin Fei to do something as trivial as picking an auspicious day. Yu Zishan was the most suitable one. After all, he was a master and the most expert in feng shui. Lin Fei picked it up and glanced at it. Then let's set it 6 days later. After all, Sume is my eldest disciple. We have to pick an auspicious day and give them a chance. Yu Zishan understood. Boss, should we release the news? Of course. Who doesn't know that your boss is the #1 expert in Donghai? I want to see how many people will come to my Longting Villa. After all, it's the first time I'm accepting an apprentice. We have to set up a scene and solve some problems. I believe that day will be very interesting. Yu Zishan quickly went out to make arrangements. Lin Fei ate his food unhurriedly. I've already set up a stage for you. I want to see how many people are willing to jump out this time. If it was not to solve those hidden troubles and establish the reputation of the #1 expert in Donghai, Lin Fei would not be bothered to do these things. Since the other party had put in so much effort, Lin Fei would feel bad if he didn't get what he wanted. He couldn't let the other party down, so he had to put on a good show. It would be best if he could catch a few big fish. That would be the best. After this incident, Lin Fei believed that no one in Donghai would dare to do anything in the dark. Yu Zishan quickly released the news. After all, Longting Villa was now the focus of attention in the martial arts circle. Although the 8 grandmasters did not say anything, everyone knew that a storm was coming under the calm. Those grandmasters did not make a move because they were not sure. Once they were given a chance, they would definitely make a comeback. Everyone understood this. As soon as the news came out, it instantly caused an uproar in the martial arts circle. Good heavens, Lin Fei is actually going to accept an apprentice. This is his first apprentice. Is he really going to become the real #1 expert in Donghai? Have you asked Lai Tian of the Lai family? The Lai family will definitely express their dissatisfaction. There will definitely be a good show that day. At this time, another piece of news spread. The #1 Gong Tao master in Southeast Asia, Kaishan, actually sent someone to send a challenge. He would go to Longting Villa in Donghai 6 days later and fight with Lin Fei. Shikju website. Chapter 4020. Originally, everyone thought that the apprenticeship banquet of Longting Villa would be very lively, but they didn't expect that the following invitation would instantly cause a sensation in the entire martial arts circle. Recently, Kaishan, the #1 tame headmaster in Southeast Asia, had swept away all the martial arts clubs of all sizes in Donghai. His strength was amazing, causing people in the martial arts circle to curse him constantly, but no one dared to challenge Kaishan. It was because Caishan's strength was too terrifying. However, they didn't expect that Kaishan didn't go to the Lai family to find trouble with Lai Tian. Instead, he went to find Lin Fei of Longting Villa, which surprised everyone. At the same time, they couldn't help but look forward to it. One was the #1 expert in Southeast Asia, and the other was the #1 expert in Donghai. Both of them were the #1 experts. Although everyone was not very satisfied with the title of Lin Fei being the #1 expert in Donghai, after all, 7 or 8 grandmasters had fallen in Longting Villa. In any case, it was related to Lin Fei, so everyone was looking forward to this battle more than anyone else. For the first time, more figures of martial artists began to appear at the entrance of Longting Villa. In everyone's subconscious mind, they naturally hoped that Lin Fei of Longting Villa would defeat the #1 tame headmaster in Southeast Asia so that they could more or less save their face. However, if even this person was no match for Lin Fei, then the face of Donghai would really be completely lost. On the mountain road leading to Longting Villa, an ordinary black Volkswagen slowly drove up. Finally, it stopped at the entrance of Longting Villa. 3 people got out of the Volkswagen. The leader was a middle-aged man of about 40 years old. Next to the middle-aged man was a young man. Are you sure that Lin Fei is in the villa today? The middle-aged man asked the young man next to him. The people of our martial gate have been watching. Lin Fei is in the villa. The young man said, President, I'm afraid it will be difficult to communicate with this Lin Fei if we just come here like this. I heard that this Lin Fei has a bad temper. I'm afraid it's not a good time for us to come here at this time, right? The middle-aged man smiled and said, Days don't matter. What's important is that we can let Lin Fei feel our good intentions. Everything can only be known after we talk. I believe that as long as he is smart, he will not refuse the olive branch extended by our martial gate. In the East Sea, the Yan Huang battle team had the greatest influence, restricting all the martial artists. But under the Yan Huang battle team, there was another powerful force called the martial gate. Inside the martial gate were all martial artists, and their influence was also very great. This was not much different from the warrior guild in the game. It was just that the martial gate's influence was not as strong as the Yan Huang battle team. After all, the Yan Huang battle team had the #1 expert. Master Yu, long time no see. You are still as elegant as ever. The gate of the Longting Manor opened. Yu Zishan walked out. When Yu Zishan saw the newcomer, his expression changed slightly. Smiling, he said, So it's guild leader Li. It has indeed been a long time. Li Tianqiang said with a smile, I took the liberty to come here. If you don't mind, please invite me in to have a seat. At the same time, I can also meet our manor Lord Lin. Yu Zishan naturally knew the background of this Li Tianqiang in front of him. He was the vice president of the Martial Gate. The Martial Gate president of the East Sea did not really care about things, so most of the matters were handled by this vice president. It was just that the vice president coming to the Longting Manor at this time did indeed surprise Yu Zishan, but that was all. I have to inform my boss about this first. But I can bring you to the living room for a while first. Whether the boss will meet you or not is another matter. I can't guarantee that. Lin Fei was very free these few days. Master, your manor is so big, but it feels a little lonely with too few people. Ever since the incident that day, Lin Fei let Su Mei move to the Longting Manor the next day, because this was the only place where there was no need to be afraid of any danger, especially at this critical time. It was hard to guarantee that some people would not have any evil thoughts. So, he might as well let Su Mei live in the Longting Manor. The Longting Manor was so big anyway. We practice martial arts. We have to be calm. It's boring to quarrel. Lin Fei said with a smile. Su Mei really liked this place because she felt that this place was more comfortable than anywhere else. This feeling was something she had never felt in other places. Master, when will you start teaching me martial arts? Once I cultivate martial arts to a high level, can I really fly in the sky and burrow into the ground? Is there anything I can't do? Su Mei took the initiative to pour a cup of tea for Lin Fei and asked with sparkling eyes. The current Su Mei had let go of everything, almost returning to the appearance of a young girl, and could come up with any idea. Flying in the sky and burrowing into the ground is indeed possible. Lin Fei said, The premise is that you have to cultivate hard. Otherwise, no matter how talented you are, if you don't work hard, it will be difficult for you to reach this level in your lifetime. Su Mei said happily, Wow, there really is flying in the sky and burrowing into the ground. Then, Master, can you fly in the sky and burrow into the ground? Lin Fei chuckled. Take a guess. Su Mei pouted. Master is so bad. Can't you tell me and make me happy? At least I have a motivation. Lin Fei laughed out loud. Boss, our villa has guests. It's people from the Martial Gate, and it's Vice President Li Tianqiang. Lin Fei had naturally heard of this Martial Gate, which was second only to the Yan Huang battle team. It could even be said that the Martial Gate and the Yan Huang battle team were sometimes opposed to each other. Don't think that it was impossible because it was the truth. However, for some reason, the Yan Huang battle team did not do anything to the Martial Gate, but only restricted their development. The influence of the Martial Gate in Donghai was basically similar to that of the Yan Huang battle team. This was what Lin Fei heard from Yu Zishan. Lin Fei took a sip of tea. Interesting, the people from the Martial Gate didn't come early or late, but came at this time. Are they planning to have a good talk with me? Yu Zishan said, If boss doesn't want to see them, then I'll ask them to leave. Yu Zishan was now full of confidence. With the formation of the Longting Villa, he was not afraid that someone would cause trouble here, even if it was the vice president of the Marshall Gate. When the time came, if they didn't give him face, he would just throw them out and see who would be more embarrassed. It's not easy for them to come here, so let's just bring them here. I also want to hear what our vice president has to say to me. After Yu Zishan left, Su Mei said curiously, Master, this Marshall Gate sounds so antique. Why haven't I heard of it before? After living in the East Sea for so long, Su Mei had never heard of the existence of the Marshall Gate. Lin Fei laughed. You just have to watch more and talk less. After all, this world is actually more dangerous than you think. Su Mei felt that she had really opened a door. Chapter 40:21. Li Tianqiang had already seen Lin Fei from the information, but when he saw him in person, he still felt that he was too young, which surprised Li Tianqiang. Such a young man was no different from a university student. However, it was such a young man who stunned everyone and took down the Longting Mountain Manor. He even made Yu Zishan, a grandmaster, listen to him. He also made 7 or 8 grandmasters suffer in silence at the Longting Mountain Manor. Until now, no one knew what had happened to those 7 or 8 grandmasters. This undoubtedly whetted everyone's appetite. This must be Villa Master Lin. He is really young and promising. I feel that I have lived my life like a dog. Li Tianqiang looked at Lin Fei with a smile. I am Li Tianqiang, the vice president of the Marshall School branch. Lin Fei made a gesture of invitation. You are a guest. President Li, please have a cup of tea first. Su Mei served as the person who poured the tea. After pouring the tea, she stood next to Lin Fei. Good tea, good water. Li Tianqiang sat down in front of Lin Fei, took a sip of tea, and said with a smile, The blessed enclave is indeed a blessed enclave. It is incomparable to the outside world. While Li Tianqiang was looking at Lin Fei was also looking at Li Tianqiang. It was indeed not easy to become the vice president of the Marshall School. His strength was also extraordinary. He had actually reached the Grand Master late stage, and he was only the vice president of a branch of the Marshall School in Donghai. From this, it could be seen how powerful the Marshall School, which was rooted in Huaxia, was. Usually, it really didn't show its strength. It was comparable to the Lai family. At least in the past, Lin Fei had never thought that there was such a force in Donghai. He had never heard of the Marshall School at all. The Blessed Enclave is just like that. It's an exaggeration. Lin Fei laughed. It's just that the air is a little better. Actually, there's not much of a difference. You guys treat the Blessed Enclave as the same thing. No one knew better than Lin Fei that his Longting Villa really couldn't be called a blessed place. It was just that the spiritual qi here was slightly denser than other places. Compared with the blessed places in other worlds, it was simply not on the same level. It was completely crushed. Su Mei, who was standing behind Lin Fei, was shocked when she heard this. After all, she had also heard of the Blessed Enclave. It was a legendary place. She didn't expect that the manor she was standing in was actually a blessed enclave. Now, she finally understood why she felt so comfortable here. Even taking a breath of fresh air made one's entire body feel relaxed. This was something that couldn't be said outside. What kind of master am I following? Su Mei didn't dare to imagine. The Blessed Enclave was ordinary? Li Tianqiang was so angry that he almost spat out a mouthful of tea. It should be known that this was a blessed enclave. In your eyes, this blessed enclave doesn't seem like much. Aren't your requirements a little too high? In China, the number of blessed enclaves can be counted on one's fingers. Who doesn't fight over them? How could it be as unbearable as you said? Endure, I must endure. Li Tianqiang finally saw the difference in this Lin Fei. He was indeed a person with character. Villa Master Lin, your words are a bit of a joke. How many people are envious of the Blessed Enclave? Even our martial school currently only has one blessed enclave. Li Tianqiang said, "Actually, I came to this villa today to discuss something with Villa Master Lin. I think Villa Master Lin will be very interested." Lin Fei took a sip of tea and said with a smile, "Then let's hear it." Li Tianqiang said with a smile, "Our martial school very solemnly invites Villa Master Lin to join the martial school. We are willing to let Villa Master Lin become the president of the Eastern Sea Branch and take charge of the Eastern Sea Branch. Moreover, in our headquarters, we will give you the position of Great Deacon, second only to the Chief Sect Master. There are a total of 10 such Great Deacon positions, and Villa Master Lin will become the 11th Great Deacon." The young man standing behind Li Tianqiang revealed a face of envy and jealousy. After all, this power in the martial school was very high. To be in charge of the Eastern Sea Branch and to be able to serve as a Great Deacon in our headquarters, this was not something that anyone could have. This time, Li Tianqiang indeed came with sincerity, because in his opinion, this was the best opportunity to pull Lin Fei into their martial school. Once the martial gate had Lin Fei joining them, at the very least, their influence in the Eastern Sea would expand, especially the soaring Dragon Manor, which was a heavenly paradise. It could raise the strength of the disciples of the Eastern Sea's martial gate branch, and even dig out more secrets from Lin Fei. For the martial school, there were only benefits and no disadvantages. After hearing this, Lin Fei also smiled and said, "Your martial school is really generous. You think too highly of me, Lin Fei." From Yu Zishan's mouth, Lin Fei already understood some information about the martial school and naturally knew these two conditions. No matter which one it was not bad. The president of the Eastern Sea Branch, his position was not the slightest bit inferior to the chief of the Yan Huang Squad. Iron Battle. The position of the Great Deacon in the headquarters could also be counted on one's fingers. If it was an ordinary person, then it was fine. Maybe they would immediately choose to join. How could Lin Fei care about this little power? In his eyes, this little power was almost like an ant, insignificant. Villa Master Lin, you must be joking. If you don't have the strength, then who has the strength? Li Tianqiang followed. As long as you join our martial school, with our martial school as a big group, we can shelter you from the wind and rain, and remove a lot of worries for you. Even the 3 great clans would not dare to do anything to Villa Master Lin. Lin Fei said, "Your martial school is quite well informed, but let's talk about joining the martial school later. In the near future, I have no interest in joining any forces. I think I'm pretty good right now." Li Tianqiang had already expected this. After all, Lin Fei's personality was different. He was also a person with a temper. How could he join their martial school just because of a few words? If that was the case, Li Tianqiang would be suspicious. I think Villa Master Lin should think about it carefully. After all, for you are a newcomer in the Eastern Sea, and there are many people secretly plotting against you in the Eastern Sea Villa. Not to mention others, just Southeast Asia's #1 black magic Master Kaishan, the Shen family of the 3 great clans, the Loki-Lai family and the Medicine King Valley. None of them are easy to deal with. Li Tianqiang said seriously, "And these things our martial school can solve for you. I hope you can think about it." Lin Fei knew that the martial school wanted to take advantage of him. "All right, then I will think about it." Remember the mobile version of the website. Chapter 2233. You need a big group, page 1/1. Add bookmark, easy to read.